A service of KIBMradio.com, the Internet's home for an all old-time radio.
Kroger Tender-Ray Beef, no other beef so fresh can be so tender, presents Hearts in Harmony, transcribed. North and south, east and west, every section of our nation is experiencing a desperate shortage of meat. Your Kroger meat man is truly sorry he can't give you Kroger Tender-Ray Beef, and that there's only a limited supply of other meat items. And he wants you to remember that Kroger is doing everything possible to get meat. But, as always, Kroger will buy only through legitimate channels at legal prices. Remember, too, that your Kroger store has a plentiful supply of delicious Kroger-selected seafood. Yes, and you've never seen finer-looking saltwater and freshwater fish. And you've never eaten finer-flavored seafood either. Yes, sirree, Kroger-selected seafood is tender and delicious, just chock full of real ocean-fresh flavor. You see, Kroger-selected seafoods are rushed right to your Kroger store by Kroger's special rush delivery system, so they're bound to be good. And another thing to keep in mind, you have a marvelous variety of seafood to choose from at your Kroger store. You'll be delighted with their firm flesh and delicious flavor, and with the low price. So don't delay. Get your share of Kroger's selected seafood at your Kroger store. And now, Hearts in Harmony. Penny Gibbs finally has definite cause to be more than just a little suspicious of Bill Carver. In fact, she's afraid of him, for he was caught following her last night. And this is twice now that he has shown a strange interest in Penny's actions. It is the next evening, and Penny goes into her living room to talk to Freddie Lang.
Freddie, are you in here?
Yeah, Gibbsy, I'm down here. I'm fixing the soft pedal on the piano.
Oh.
It sticks a little.
Yeah, I've been meaning to have that fixed.
I think it's going to work pretty good now. Yeah, let's see. Yeah, I guess that did it up okay.
Mm-hmm.
Now I can play a little genius on the piano without having to kick that pedal around all the time.
Oh, thanks for fixing it, Freddie.
Well, it's about time I did something around this joint except to clutter it up. And to make a little noise.
You call that noise?
Well, it might be to some people. After all, what the heck is music anyhow but a bunch of noises put together so they fit?
Freddie, you know that's the most profound thing I've ever heard you say.
Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
You mean I said something worth listening to?
You certainly did. You could often, too, if you'd stop trying to hide yourself from all
Now,
kinds
look, let's not go into that, shall we, Gibbsy? Let's go into a song instead.
No, I'd rather not if you don't mind.
Well, what's the matter, Gibbsy? I thought you liked to sing.
I do usually, but not today.
Ah, come on. Let's hear you warble up a ditty, huh?
Freddie, please don't insist.
Well, okay. But if you insist on hearing me play the piano, why, I will.
All right, I insist.
Okay, if you'd like me to. Hey, how about this one?
Oh, very much. Freddie, you're getting better every day.
You should have heard me playing a couple years ago, Gibbsy, before I got out of practice. I really had something then.
You have it now.
Well, it's come back a little bit. You know, I think I'm going to do something with my music someday. Maybe I'm going to write me a couple of songs. Maybe there'll be hits. You know, big hits. Then I'll make a lot of dough.
Oh, I hope you do, Freddie.
So do I. You know, Gibbsy, if I wasn't afraid that you'd fall out of that chair laughing at me, I'd tell you what I thought about you.
Oh, Freddie, you mustn't.
Skip it. I ain't going to say nothing. Every once in a while I get a streak of savvy, and I have enough sense to know that, well, I'm licked.
You're not licked by anything.
Yeah. You remember what we were saying before about friends?
Mm-hmm.
Well, even you rating as high as you do with me, I still don't figure you were a friend of mine.
Freddie, I don't know how you can say that.
By just saying it, Gibbsy. And it's the truth, too. You see, I like you, but... Well, we'll just let it go at that, huh? I like you, but I still don't trust you none.
Why not?
Because you gotta have a reason for being nice to me, Gibbsy. I think I know what it is, too.
Oh, you do you?
Yeah. You're lonesome. I give you somebody to worry about, somebody to think about, take care of and everything. You got something on your mind worse than all the trouble that I caused you, and I don't give you a chance to think about it.
Are you serious, Freddie?
Yeah, I am. You think I'm waving my jaws around so as I can hear myself talk?
No. You really think I try to be nice to you for a reason, do you?
Well, what else? What can I do for you, Gibbsy? I can't do nothing. And what can I give you? Nothing. So it's gotta be that you helping me helps you out, too.
Well, I suppose there's some truth to what you say, Freddie. But it's not quite the way you think it is.
Don't try and kid me along, Gibbsy. I really ain't as dumb as I act, you know. And I've been around. I've been around you long enough to know a little something about you.
I don't think you know very much about me.
No? Let me give you a for instance.
For instance of what?
Of how I know you pretty good.
All right. For instance.
For instance, I know why you came in here to talk to me today.
Oh, you do?
Mm-hmm. You came in to talk about Carver. Bill Carver.
Yeah, that's right.
There, you see? Do I know something about you?
Yes, I guess you do. And, I also think you know something about Bill Carver, too.
Well, that we can skip.
No, Freddie, that's what I came in here to talk to you about, so, let's talk about him.
Gibbsy.
Freddie.
Hmm?
Professor Rogers caught Mr. Carver following me last night.
Huh?
Pat and I were going to the square when the professor saw Mr. Carver watching us from the other side of the street.
Yeah?
And then start to follow us.
Well, okay. So he was following you. Sidewalks are free, ain't they?
Freddie, it wasn't just that he was walking down the street. He followed wherever we went.
Well, so what? Maybe he's going that way, too.
You know better than that. You know that he was following us, and you probably know why. Now, look, Freddie.
Hmm?
You've hinted about Mr. Carver several times. So now stop hinting and come right out with what you want to tell me.
Can't do it, Gibbsy.
Why not?
Look, we ain't going into all that again, see? I ain't telling you nothing about Carver because I don't know nothing.
All right, Freddie. I'll take matters into my own hands then.
What do you mean?
I mean that this man Carver's beginning to annoy me. First he came here to the house, and I had a terrible time getting rid of him. Now he follows me down the street.
So?
So, I'm going to the police about him.
Gibbsy, I wish you wouldn't do that.
Look, Freddie, he worries me. I don't like him. I don't like having him around.
I don't like him around either. But just don't go to the cops about him, will you? You're only going to make things worse.
Make what worse?
Well, never mind what. I didn't mean nothing by it at all. Look, Gibbsy, will you let me go to Carver? Maybe I can get him to leave you alone.
I think the police can be more convincing, Freddie.
Look, I know this much about this fella Carver. He don't like cops, see? And he don't like people who calls on the cops. Let me go talk to him.
All right. All right, if you think it'll do any good.
Gibbsy, I don't know if it's going to do any good at all, but it'll sure do something.
Where you going, Freddie?
Hi, Billy. I was just going down to the river docks. I was looking for you.
Yeah? What for?
I want to talk to you, Carver.
About what?
Just about what you're doing now. Hanging around Gibbsy's house.
Is there a law that says I can't stand on a public sidewalk?
No, there ain't. But Gibbsy don't like you hanging around her.
Oh, ain't that just too bad? How'll she know I'm hanging around?
Because she saw you following her last night.
Yeah, well, ain't she smart? I didn't make no secret I was following her. I wanted her to see me. Put the scare into her a little for what's coming.
Look, Bill, you're only asking for trouble for yourself hanging around here. And for trying to get even with Gibbsy.
You let me worry about that, huh?
Sure I will. But I'm scared that Gibbsy's wise to you. And she's going to yap to the cops, too.
Hey, look, you ain't been talking, have you?
No, I ain't, Bill. I ain't said a word about you at all. But she's asking an awful lot of questions.
And you've been giving her a face full of answers.
Honest, I ain't, Bill. I've been telling her that she's nuts to be afraid of you.
Oh, she's afraid of me, is she?
Yeah.
Well, it's working out just the way I hoped it would. You keep telling her I'm as harmless as a toothless pup, and I'll be...
Well, what's the matter?
Some dame across the street keeps looking over this way and then up toward the Gibbs dame's house.
Oh, maybe it's a female cop, huh?
Ah, not nose duds. That dame's from the big city. She's got class. Wonder what she's doing.
How'd I know?
Hey, look, kid, scram. I think I'll walk over that way and see what that dame's doing.
Look, be careful, Bill. You might not know who you're talking
I
to.
said scram, Freddie. Now beat it.
Okay. Do what you like, then.
Excuse me, sister. Got a light?
Oh, yes. Just a minute.
Thanks.
Thanks for what? I haven't given it to you yet.
I ain't thanking you for the match. I'm thanking you for not thinking I'm a bum all set to snatch your purse.
You look a little like a bum.
Well, that purse of yours looks like it's got more than a little dough in it.
It has a great deal of money in it. Here's your match.
Thanks. Cigarette?
No, thanks.
Okay, here's your matches back.
You can keep them.
Like you're keeping that dough, huh?
You said you weren't going to rob me.
No, but you must be just itching to get robbed, standing in the dark like this.
I prefer the dark.
Yeah. It's hard to find things in the dark.
I know.
You trying to find something or trying to keep from being found?
That is my business.
Sure, but if you need help, I owe you something for the match.
What's your name?
Bill Carver.
You don't belong in Rossville, do you?
No, I'm from New York.
And you think that I am, too, don't you?
Yeah. And I think something else, too.
Do you?
Yeah. I think you're cutting into my territory.
What do you mean?
I mean, I think you and me is both watching the Gibbs dame's house.
Now, what makes you think I'm watching her house?
Because I saw you.
And if I was?
Oh, I ain't going to ask why, if that's worrying you. I just don't want you to do nothing that's going to spoil what I figure to do.
Oh, you're watching her house, too.
You better tell me who you are before you ask questions like that.
Well, you were fair enough to tell me your name, Mr. Carver. So I'll tell you mine. I'm Jerri Manson.
So Jerri Manson is in Rossville, and of all things has met Bill Carver. Will Jerry's blind hatred of Penny be a help or hindrance to Carver in his vow to bring serious harm to Penny? Be sure to listen to the next dramatic episode of Hearts in Harmony. You know, every state in this union of ours is experiencing a critical shortage of meat. So there's not much chance of getting famous Kroger Tenderay beef. Just remember, though, that Kroger is doing everything possible to get meat for you. As always, however, Kroger will buy only through legitimate channels at legal prices. Don't forget, either, that your Kroger store has a plentiful supply of delicious Kroger's Selected Seafood. It's the finest flavored seafood in town, because Kroger's Selected Seafood is especially selected for its firm flesh and tasty deliciousness. So without delay, get your share of Kroger's Selected Seafood at your Kroger store. Now, your local announcer.
Countdown for blast off. X minus 5, 4, 3, 2, X minus 1, fire. From the far horizons of the unknown come tales of new dimensions in time and space. These are stories of the future, adventures in which you'll live in a million, could be years, on 1,000 maybe worlds. The National Broadcasting Company, in cooperation with Galaxy Science Fiction Magazine, presents
X minus 1.
Can you predict the future? Can you tell what will come in 100 years? Or in 10? Or in the next minute? Tonight we present two ventures into the unknown. Two fantasies of the future, chosen from the works of one of our most brilliant young science fiction writers, Ray Bradbury. First, his story entitled, There Will Come Soft Rains. The house was a good house, planned and built to be lived in the year 1980. The real estate agent had told them all about it.
Now, this is the bedroom. Of course, it contains all the latest devices, self-warming blankets, and, there's a brand new feature. Beds, which make themselves. Now, if you'll just step this way through the library, we can see the latest in talking book recorders, self-building fireplace, self-cleaning robot dust disposal. Oh, these little mouse-like things come out of the wall and take away all the dirt. Now, over this way. As a complete robot kitchen, of course. Just set the menu for the week and the stove does the rest. Then there's the automatic hydroponic garden, self-sprinkling fire protection. See, the house is fully automatic. Well, you could go away for a year and it would run itself.
And so the family took the house. The man and the woman and the two children. A boy and a girl. And they lived contentedly, enjoying music and poetry and the rich, warm things in life. And the house fed them and slept them and entertained them. It made a good life for them. Until one day, there were 10,000 explosions, and the world shook, and red fire and ashes and radioactivity fell from the sky. The happy time was over.
Tick-tock, 7 o'clock, time to rise, open your eyes. Tick-tock, 7 o'clock. Time to rise, open your eyes.
But the house lay empty. The clock talked to the empty morning. In the kitchen, the stove sighed and ejected from its warm interior 8 eggs, sunny side up, 12 bacon slices, 2 coffees, and 2 cups of hot cocoa.
7-9, breakfast time, come and dine. 7-9.
Today is April 28th, 1985. Today, remember, is Mr. Featherstone's birthday. Insurance, gas, atom heat, and electricity bills are due.
In the walls, relays clicked, memory tapes glided under electric eyes. Recorded voices moved beneath steel needles.
Take 1, run, off to school, off to work, run, tick-tock, 8 o'clock, 8 o'clock.
But no doors slammed. No carpets took the quick tread of rubber heels. At 8:30, the eggs began to shrivel. An aluminum wedge scraped them into the sink.
9:15, time to clean. 9:15, time to clean.
Out of the wall, hundreds of tiny mechanical mice darted. The rooms were acrawl with small, cleaning animals, all rubber and metal. They sucked up the hidden dust and dirt and popped back into their burrows. At 10 o'clock, the sun came out from behind the rain. The house stood alone on a street where all the other houses were rubble and ashes. At night, the ruined town gave off a radioactive glow which could be seen for miles. At 10:15, the garden sprinkler filled the soft morning air with golden fountains. The water tinkled, over the charred west side of the house, the side which had been facing the blast. It was blank, except in 5 places. One of the 5 places was a silhouette of a man mowing a lawn, just as he'd been the instant the radioactivity burned his image into the side of the house. Over there, a woman bent to pick flowers. Still further over, their images burned into the wood, where a small boy, hands flung into the air. Higher up, the image of a thrown ball, and opposite, a girl, her hands raised to catch a ball which never came down. 5 people. 5 spots of paint. On the front porch, the dog whined and shivered. The front door recognized the dog's voice and opened. The dog padded in wearily, thin to the bone, covered with sores. It ran to the kitchen and pawed the kitchen door wildly. Behind the door, the stove was making pancakes which filled the house with their odor, as prescribed by the automatic preset menu selector. The dog frothed, ran insanely, spun in a circle, biting its tail, and died.
1 o'clock, 1 o'clock.
Delicately sensing decay, the regiments of mice hummed out of the walls, soft as blown leaves, their electric eyes glowing.
1:15.
The dog was gone.
2:15.
Bridge tables unfolded from the walls of the patio. Playing cards fluttered onto pads. Martinis appeared on an oaken bench. But the tables were silent, the cards untouched.
5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock.
Dinner was made, ignored, flushed away. Dishes were washed. In the study, the tobacco stand produced a cigar with half an inch of gray ash upon it, smoking, waiting, waiting. The hearth fire bloomed out of nothing.
9 o'clock, 9 o'clock.
The beds began to warm their hidden circuits, and the phonograph spoke from beside the fireplace.
Mrs. McClelland, what poem would you like to hear this evening? Mr. McClelland? Since you express no preference, I shall select at random from among your favorites. Sarah Teasdale. There will come soft rains.
There will come soft rains, and the smell of the ground, and swallows circling with their shimmering sound, and frogs in the pools singing at night, and wild plum trees in tremulous white. Robins will wear their feathery fire, whistling their whims on a low fence wire, and not one will know of war. Not one will care at last when it is done. Not one would mind, neither bird nor tree, if mankind perished utterly. And spring herself, when she woke at dawn, would scarcely know that we were gone.
The phonograph finished the poem. The empty chairs faced each other between the silent walls. At 10 o'clock that evening, the house began to die. The wind blew the bough of a falling tree into the kitchen window, smashing it. A bottle of cleaning fluid crashed on the stove. Water pumps shot down from the ceiling. But the solvent spread onto the doors, making fire as it went. Other voices in other rooms taking up the alarm. The windows broke with the heat, and the wind blew in to help the fire. The fire crackled upstairs at paintings, lay hungrily on the beds, devoured the rooms. The house began to shudder. The bared skeleton began to cringe in the heat. The wires revealed as if a surgeon had torn the skin off. Voices screamed in every room. Windows snapped open and shut like undecided mouths. A thousand things were happening at once. Like the interior of a clock shop at midnight, all the clocks were striking, making a merry-go-round of squeaking, whispering, and rushing. In the kitchen, the stove, hissing hysterically, was making breakfast at a psychopathic rate. 10 dozen pancakes, 6 dozen loaves of toast. Then, there was silence. The film spools were burned out. The wires withered and the circuits cracked. Then the house began to breathe its last. The beams began to give at the foundations. Long cracks appeared in the concrete. The seams were burst from the heat. And finally, with a huge rumble, it crashed into dust and rumble. Dawn shone faintly in the east. In the ruins of the house, only one wall remained standing. And within the wall, even as the sun rose to shine upon the burning rubble, a voice spoke again and again and again.
No one would mind, neither bird nor tree, if mankind perished utterly. And spring herself, when she woke at dawn, would scarcely know that we were gone. That we were gone. That we were gone. That we were gone.
Today is April 29th, 1985. Today is April 29th, 1985.
Strange are the uses of Providence. Is this how the end will come for mankind, with 10,000 explosions and a flash of radioactive gas? Or will destruction come more subtly, extended to us gently and innocently in, let's say, the hand of a child? Who knows in what manner 0 hour may arrest the world we know? It was a perfect summer day in the year 1985. The streets were lined with green, peaceful trees. Businessmen sat in their quiet offices, taping their voices or watching televisors. Rockets hovered like darning needles in the blue sky. There was the universal quiet conceit and easiness of men accustomed to peace, quite certain that there would never be war or trouble again. There were no traitors among men, no unhappy ones, no disgruntled ones. The world was upon stable ground. Sunlight illumined the suburbs, and the town drowsed on a tide of warm, sunlit air. On the lawns, the children played, catapulting this way and that across the green grass, shouting at each other, holding hands, flying in circles, climbing trees, and laughing. And in the homes, busy mothers prepared for the evening arrival of their husbands.
Heavens, Mick, what's all the excitement?
We're playing a game, Mommy, the most exciting game ever.
What are you doing in that cabinet?
I need some tools from Daddy's kit.
Your father may not like...
Oh, I'll take good care of them, Mom, I promise.
Very well. Don't you lose anything.
Oh, thank you, Mom.
You want a glass of milk?
Can't stop now, Mom.
What's the name of the game, Mink?
Invasion.
Invasion. What will they think of next?
Now put that there and bring that over here. Oh, no, you ninny. Now get back while I fix this. There, they want it this way, see? Here, just let me fix it. Oh, Mink, it's that smarty pants Joseph Connors. Don't let him play. He's 12 years old. Don't worry, I won't.
What you playing, Mink?
None of your business, smarty pants.
I want to play.
Can't.
Why not?
You're too old.
Just 'cause you're only 8.
No, you'd only laugh at us and spoil the invasion. Make him go away, Mink. Go away. This is my backyard.
Who wants to play with you and your old fairies anyway?
They aren't fairies.
Nuts to you. I don't want to play anyway.
Good riddance. I'm glad you didn't let him play, Mink. He'd only laugh. Now, we better talk to Drill and get some more instructions, Art. Now, here's your pad and pencil.
Where is Drill?
Drill? Here, Drill. Drill? He's in the rose bush, I think. I'll talk to him myself, and you write it down in the pad.
Okay.
Drill? Drill? Okay. Drill wants you to write down triangle.
What's a triangle?
Never mind. Drill will tell us when he wants us to know. It helps the invasion.
How do you spell it?
Well, that's Drill. Drill, how do you spell...
Here's your mother, looking out the window.
Mink?
Yes, Mother?
Who are you talking to?
The rose bush, Mom. Only it's not really a rose bush. That's Drill.
Who's Drill?
He's planning the invasion.
Oh, I see. Well, you better come in and clean up for supper. Your daddy will be home soon.
In just a second, Mom. You got that, Art?
See now what? 4, 9, 7, and A, and B, and X, and a fork, and some string, and a hexagonal droopy.
Come on, Mink. Supper's in 10 minutes.
Okay, Mom. Just a minute. I have to tell Drill.
I wish we didn't have to eat, though. It holds up the invasion.
Mink, for heaven's sake, slow down. You'll choke on that soup.
I can't, Mom. It's a matter of life and death.
What's a matter of life and death?
The invasion.
What invasion is that?
Oh, just some silly game the children have been playing.
Well, whatever it is, Mink, it'll wait until you've finished your supper, I'm sure.
I don't want any more.
You've barely touched anything.
Oh, but Drill is waiting for me, Daddy.
Drill? Who's Drill?
He lives in a rose bush in our backyard. Imagination, Henry.
Such nonsense.
I'd better run now.
You'll sit through dessert, young lady.
Oh, gee, Daddy.
And while you're at it, tell me more about this new game.
It's Martians invading Earth, Daddy.
What?
Well, not exactly Martians, Daddy. They're from... Well, gee, I don't know. From up.
And from inside that little head of yours.
You're laughing at me. Drill said you would. You'll kill Drill and everybody.
Oh, I didn't know you could kill a Martian.
But it's not really a Martian, Mom. Maybe he's from Jupiter or Venus, even.
Imagine.
They couldn't figure out a way to attack the Earth. We are impregnable.
Impregnable, dear.
Well, that's the word Drill said. Well, anyway, that was the word, Mom, the same word. Anyway, so we're helping them.
Now, who's helping who?
Well, the kids are helping the Martians.
Oh, fifth column, eh?
Well, Drill says in order to make a good fight, you got to have a new way of surprising the people. That way you win. And he says also you got to have help from your enemy.
Pretty slick, those Martians, using the kids for a fifth column, eh, Mary?
And hiding under rose bushes, too, Henry. Don't forget that.
Well, that's because grown-ups never look under rose bushes. Only kids.
Oh, I see. Well, finish your fruit, darling. You can play for an hour afterward.
Mary.
Oh, it's so nice out, Henry. There's no school tomorrow.
Very well. Till 8 o'clock.
Drill says after the invasion we can stay up as late as we want. No more bets, either.
Oh, is that so?
We can watch all the grown-up televisor shows.
I don't wonder this invasion has caught on among the kids.
Well, some of the kids are giving us trouble, like Dale Britz and Petey Jarrett. They're growing up, so they won't believe in the invasion. They make fun. Worse than parents, even. I hate them worst. We'll kill them first.
I hope you're saving your father and me for last.
But Drill says you're dangerous.
What?
But I think they'll let me keep you because I'm helping so much. I'll talk to Drill. Maybe we won't have to kill you.
Mary, I think this nonsense has gone far enough.
Can I go out now, please?
Yeah, run along, dear.
Don't worry, Dad. I won't let them hurt you.
Mary, I think the child's taking this game entirely too seriously. Invasion.
Ah, Henry, you know how Mink is. Besides, all children have their aggressions. Better to get them out in the open, I suppose.
Maybe you're right. I was wondering about bridge with the Jacksons tonight, Mary.
All right. But, you look tired, dear. Why don't you sit in the relaxer for a while and get a massage? I'll sew for a while until it's time to... Oh, I wanted to call my sister Helen.
Oh, good. Find out when her husband's going to return my golf clubs.
Televisor.
Would you please connect me with Mrs. Helen Rogerson on Channel 7-2Z, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
What is your channel, please?
817X, New Rochelle, New York.
Thank you. Just a moment. Go ahead. You can see your party now.
Hello, Mary. How are things in New York?
Fine, Helen. How are things in Pittsburgh? You look tired.
Oh, I've been having a terrible time with the children.
Sick?
No, just underfoot. They've got a new game that's got me just about crazy. It's called Invasion.
Did you say invasion?
That's right.
Well, isn't that strange? My Mink is playing it, too.
My boy Tim is all involved with some imaginary fellow named Drill who's running the invasion.
Must be a new password. Mink likes him, too.
How do you suppose these games start? My backyard looks like a scrap drive. They've got every conceivable kind of mechanical gadget arranged out there. I talked to Josephine Schiller in Boston, and she says her kids are wild about it, too. It's sweeping the country.
Remember when it was the Roomba?
Please, dear, I'm not that old.
Mommy!
Oh, please, Minky, I'm on the televisor. Come on, see your Aunt Helen.
Hello, Ming.
Hi, Aunt Helen. Look what I've got.
What is it, honey?
Well, it's a yo-yo. Look what I enrolled with. See?
Well, Helen, look, it vanished. Well, where did it go?
Into another dim...
She means dimension. I say the darndest thing. My Timmy brought one home, too. I can't figure out how they work. Make it reappear, honey.
There. See, it's easy.
Where'd you get it, dear?
Drill gave it to me, Mom.
Mink?
Bye, Aunt Helen. Gotta run now.
Mink, you come back here. I want to talk to you.
Hey, Mom. 0 hour, 5 o'clock.
Mink!
Bye!
Oh, I can't understand it. The child's never been so unruly. Helen, do you suppose that...
What?
Nothing. Just a wild thought. Say, the reason I called, I want to get that black and white cake recipe, and Henry wants his golf clubs. I don't know what he'll do.
What was that?
I don't know. One of the children must have been hurt. I'll have to run and see. Call me back tonight, will you?
All right, Mary. Bye.
Mink, come here.
Yes, Mom.
What is it? Who screamed?
Peggy Ann.
All right, what happened?
Well, she got scared and went home.
Did you hit her?
No, she just got scared. She's a scared baby anyway. We won't let her play anymore. She's getting too old.
Now, Mink, tell me why she cried.
No, I can't.
Mink, you'll answer me this instant or come inside. I've had enough of this nonsense.
Gee, I can't quit now, Mom. It's almost 0 hour.
Then tell me what frightened Peggy Ann.
Okay, she saw Drill.
Drill?
He almost came through. He was just testing.
Through what?
Well, those pipes and things we set up. She looked into one of the pipes and screamed. I guess she saw Drill.
And no one hit her?
Uh-uh.
Very well, Mink. I'll call Peggy Ann's mother and see how she is. And I'll call you for your bath in half an hour. Your father and I want to go out tonight.
You won't be able to go out, Mom.
Why not?
0 hour is 5 o'clock, Mom.
Hello, dear.
Oh, you home already, Henry?
Yes, I thought I'd relax a little before we went to theater. Where's the little one?
Out back.
Same game?
Same game. They've got a stack of pipes and hammers and spoons a mile high out there.
Children, why do we have them?
Yeah, strange little creatures, aren't they? Even Mink, Henry. She's a part of us, and yet what do we really know about how she thinks and feels?
Oh, I didn't mean to start a philosophic discussion.
Kids are such a queer mixture of love and hate, though. Even normal, healthy kids. They need you and they're dependent on you, and yet they resent that dependence.
You sound like a child psychology course I once took.
I wonder if they ever really forgive the whippings and the commands we have to give them sometimes. I wonder if we ever forgot them when we were children.
Look, I'd like to discuss this with you, dear, but we do have a theater date, and it's almost 5 o'clock now. What's happened to the kids? They're so quiet. When children are quiet, you know there's some mischief. What's that sound?
I don't know.
These kids aren't playing with anything electrical, are they?
I'm sure they are. At least I
Just
don't...
the same, I'd better go out.
Henry, tell them to put off the invasion.
What? Mary, don't get upset. It's just a game. Good Lord, what's that? Look out the window, Mary. What is it? Where are the children? Mary, why are you shaking? What did you see?
Henry, quick. Up to the attic.
They aren't in the attic.
Yes, the attic. Quick.
Mary, come back here. Mary! Mary, don't go up. They aren't up there. Mary, you out of your mind? There's no one up here.
Quick, shut the door.
What? But there's nothing up here. What is wrong with you? Mary, come to your senses.
Henry, we've got to stay here and hide.
What are you talking about?
I saw it. Through the window, Henry. It was horrible.
What?
It is an invasion.
For heaven's sake, let's get down out of this attic and talk this over sensibly. I want to find out if Mink is all right.
She's all right. I saw her. She was leading them around the corner of the house.
Leading who? The kids? Shh. It's nothing.
Listen. The front door. They're coming.
Good Lord, those kids sound like 50 men with boots on.
Not men. Oh, please, God, don't let them find us. Don't let them find us.
I don't understand. Who's there? Who's down there? I demand that you answer me.
They're coming. The whole house is shaking.
Who's there?
Be quiet. They might go away. Henry?
Mom? Dad? Are you in the attic?
Henry, listen.
It's Mink. Mink. We've got to save her.
Henry, you don't understand. She's leading them.
What?
She's leading them. She's on their side. Oh, please, God, forgive them.
The children on their side?
She told us, but we wouldn't believe her. Henry, they're coming out!
Mom? Dad, we know you're in there. Well, I guess you better melt the lock, Trill.
Henry, the lock! It's melting! The door! Oh, dear God!
Mom? Dad? Oh, I see you now. Peek-a-boo!
You have just heard X-1, presented by the National Broadcasting Company in cooperation with Galaxy Science Fiction Magazine. Your announcer, Fred Collins. X-1 was an NBC Radio Network production. Countdown for blast off. X-5, 4, 3, 2, X-1, fire. From the far horizons of the unknown come transcribed tales of new dimensions in time and space. These are stories of the future, adventures in which you'll live in a million could-be years on 1,000 maybe worlds. The National Broadcasting Company, in cooperation with Street and Smith, publishers of astounding science fiction, presents
X-1.
Tonight's story, The Vital Factor by Nelson Bond. I doubt that anywhere on Earth there's a man or woman or a child who doesn't know the name Wayne Crowder. I doubt whether there's a human being who hasn't at one time or another used one of the Crowder products. The can opener or the razor blade or the patented tooth powder dispenser or the Crowder improved slideless fastener. In the magazines which write about men of business, Crowder was described as a man of ice and stone and ink and steel. no warmth to his blood, and a heart to pump, not feel human emotion. And he built a battery of buttons into his desk so that when he wanted something, all he ever had to do was press a button, and like genies springing out of the bottle, the proper personnel would come running.
Yes, Mr. Crowder.
Get me my engineers.
Yes, sir. Right away, Mr. Crowder. Here are your engineers, sir.
All right, close the door and get out. Now, gentlemen, sit down. Gentlemen, I want you to build me a spaceship.
A spaceship, sir?
That's right. I've decided that I am going to be the man who gives space flight to mankind. Any questions?
Sir, we can design such a ship. That part isn't too hard.
Yes?
But we've no way of providing the motor to power such a ship.
When the ship's ready to fly, there'll be a motor.
Sir, I don't like to contradict you, but you can't go ahead of the total technology of a historical period. It's like asking somebody in 1600 to build the internal combustion engine. You see, scientists have been searching for a motive power for spaceships for decades now without success. You'll have a ship, but we can't lift that ship from the Earth's surface. That is, not to the point of free flight at any rate.
Mr. Crowder, you see you'll be spending millions of dollars, hundreds of millions perhaps, for nothing.
What's your name?
Phillips, sir.
You're fired. Go down to the cashier and draw your pay and get out.
What, sir?
Get out. Nobody who works for me thinks of how much something costs. We use money. We don't let expense provide a rationalization for not beginning a project. All right, Phillips. I give you permission to leave. Right now. Any other comments?
The ship will be built, of course, Mr. Crowder. The fact still remains, we can't power it.
You design the ship, I'll find the motor for you.
Where, sir?
I don't know. But somewhere in the world there's a man who does know the secret. I want that motor, and I'll root out the man who has the theory which will let us build it.
How quickly do you want this done, sir?
Yesterday.
Yes, sir.
Is there anything you need?
We'll need a construction yard, sir, and certain machinery and a great many materials, of course. Labor force.
Get them. Send me the bills. I don't want to be bothered with minor details.
Yes, sir. And, one more thing, sir. Phillips.
Yes?
We need him, sir. He's a top man on electronics. He's a vital cog in our team.
I don't want Phillips working for me. That's clear, I hope. Who else in the country knows what he does?
No one in this country, sir. There's a man in India, though.
Get him.
We've tried before, Mr. Crowder. He's working on an important project in his country.
I'm not concerned with details. Get that man, pay him what he wants, but get him.
Sir, you don't understand. If this man quits his job, that whole project will collapse. It means the welfare of many people, millions of people in his country. He has a high sense of patriotism.
Buy that sense of patriotism. That's all. I don't want to see any of you again until you have a report of work in progress.
Yes, sir.
Miss Holmes, there's a man named Phillips going to draw his pay. I want 2 company policemen to meet him at the cashier's office and escort him from there directly off the premises, and I want them to be emphatic about it.
Yes, Mr. Crowder.
And notify the newspapers, the television, and the radio networks, the periodicals, and the scientific journals that I'll receive the press in my office this afternoon at 3:30. I have an important announcement to make. Anyone not here at 3:30 will be barred, and the publication or company he represents will not be given any further information. Gentlemen, you can finish your drinks later. Gentlemen of the press, and ladies, it's my pleasure to be able to tell you that I'm in the process of constructing a spaceship. Any questions?
Did you say spaceship?
That's right.
That's what I thought you said. I knew the drinks weren't that strong.
Mr. Crowder, is this spaceship under construction now?
It is.
You've solved the problem of motive force, then?
No, sir.
Well, what sort of... You mean you have no means of propulsion for this spaceship?
That problem is not solved as yet.
Oh!
It will be! That's why I called you in this afternoon. I want you to announce that I have $100,000 in cash, waiting for the man or woman who first brings me the basic idea for such a motor. I'll supply all equipment for research and construction, and I'll see that the rights of the inventor are protected and more than adequate royalties will be paid him or her. That's all I have to say now.
Mr. Crowder, one more question, please.
Yes?
Do you have a name for this spaceship yet?
No, not yet.
Well, then let me suggest one.
Yes?
Crowder's Folly.
Quiet! All of you, quiet! What is your paper?
The Daily Times, sir.
Miss Holmes, inform the company police that under no circumstances is any representative of the Daily Times ever to be allowed on company property again. Strike that paper from the list of those to be invited to future conferences.
It was Crowder's Folly, but the word of what he wanted circulated to the far corners of the globe. It was known in the white ice block huts of the Eskimos and in the grass-thatched villages of Central Africa, as well as places less remote. And the Crowder office became the Mecca and the heaven for the lunatic fringe of humanity. Their blueprints and scale models clogged its corridors.
I told you I don't want these people in my office till they're screened. Now get out, get out! Every time I open that door, they surge in like a tidal wave.
I have a progress report for you, sir. The ship is finished as far as we can go, Mr. Crowder. Certain additional construction can't be done now because it depends on the shape and mass of the engine, on the type of fuel, on the weight of that fuel.
I see, all right. Lay off everybody we don't need.
I've ordered that. Mr. Crowder, is it possible that no one will turn up with a motor?
That's the one thing that's not possible. He will come. Money and determination will buy anything. Close the door on your way out.
Yes, sir.
Miss Holmes, order the proper department to put a name on the forward end of the ship. I want letters in pure gold 1 foot high. The name of the ship is Crowder's Folly. Get it done today.
The sun came up in the morning, and the sun set at night, glinting rose on the silver sheen of the hollow ship's skin as it lay in the yard. The golden letters on the prow spelled out the fury of Crowder for the world to see. A staff of 50 were employed as time went on in taking rust preventative measures to ensure the ship's well-being. The staff of 50 worked in 3 shifts around the clock, armed with oil cans and grease cans and other containers and sprayers of preservatives. In a year, the first experiment seemed ready to bear fruit, and a test was held. The atomic fission motor.
In exactly 45 seconds now, we'll hold the test, Mr. Crowder. The sound you hear is our generators here, building up power to supply the motor by remote control. If this needle goes round to the part of the dial marked in red, there'll be an explosion. Are there any questions, sir?
Proceed with the tests.
Watch the needle, sir. 8,000, 8,500, 9,000, 10, 11, 12, 15. That's an overload now, sir. 18, 20. I don't know how much more it can...
What happened? The generator blew out. What kind of incompetency?
I beg your pardon, sir. The motor blew up.
What are you talking about? I would have heard...
You see, sir, It takes a while for the vibrations of an explosion to travel 3 miles and then reach through 15 feet of concrete.
I see. Well, there are other experiments in progress. Let me know when they're ready for testing.
Yes, sir. Mr. Crowder, the inventor of that motor had to be right with it, of course, during the tests. He had a family.
The fool knew what he was doing. He understood the danger. He was paid enough to be able to afford insurance.
The cost of insurance on such a project was prohibitive, sir.
Well, if his wife was thrifty, she saved out of what he earned this last year.
His salary was relatively small, sir. Most of the money went for the research.
He should have demanded an adequate salary. I haven't spent it on money. The fool failed. I have no further responsibility.
Yes, sir. You want us to continue screening applicants?
Of course. All right. Make a settlement on the widow. And don't turn anyone away if he seems to have the remotest possibility of success. I'm telling you, my man will come. Money and determination will buy anything.
And strangely enough, Crowder was right. Because one day there came to his office a stranger, a small man. He looked even smaller in that tremendous room. He was an unusual visitor in that he carried no briefcase fat with blueprints or formulae. He was unusual in that he neither blustered, cowered, nor deferred to his host. He was a pleasant little stranger, bird-like of eye and movement, bright and smiling.
Mr. Crowder, my name is Wilkins. I can power that ship you want.
So?
Of course, what I have in mind won't be anything like that meaningless, huge bullet your engineers built for you. Rockets are a foolish waste of time, sir. My motor requires a different sort of vessel.
Where are your plans?
Right here in my head.
It so happens that I'm presently supporting half a dozen people who make the same claims. None of them have been successful. What makes you think your idea will work?
Simple enough, sir. A common magnet.
Huh?
Electromagnetism. Utilization of the force of gravity, or its opposite in this case, counter-gravity.
Oh, no. Oh, thank you very much. Now, if you'll forgive me now...
Just one moment, Mr. Crowder. There's one thing more. This.
Now, I've seen pieces of metal before, thank you.
How high from your desk would you say that I'm holding it?
I'm very sorry, Mr. Wilkins. Now, do you want to leave or do you want to be escorted out?
This will only take a second, sir. How high from your desk would you say that I'm holding this piece of metal?
1.5 feet, I'd say.
And if I let go, then in less than a second, a fraction of a second, it should fall to your desk.
Now, look, I don't want the surface of that desk marred.
But will it be? You see, I have let go of the metal, is that right?
Good Lord.
Many seconds ago, it should have crashed to the desk, am I right?
Well, this is incredible.
Well, if you want to speak to me anymore, I'll be right outside.
But it hasn't fallen.
That's right, sir. It hasn't fallen.
It floats in the air.
That's right, sir. It floats in the air.
How do you do it?
Why don't you call your engineers and ask them? I'll wait outside.
Miss Holmes, get me my engineers. Immediately. All right, Mr. Wilkins, you're quite right. The piece of metal is apparently counter-gravity, and my engineers can give me no explanation.
Thank you, sir.
Now, what do you want?
For my services?
Yes.
You've already set the price. To build a pilot model based on this sample, no great expenditure, 100th of the cost of your behemoth sitting out there in your building yard. 3 other things: a workshop, expert mechanical assistance, and an answer to one question.
What is your question?
Why do you want so much to build this ship?
Frankly, because I love power. Because I'm ambitious. I want to be the first to conquer space, because if I can do it, it'll make me greater, richer, stronger than any man has ever been. I want to be the master, not only of one world, but of worlds.
That's an honest answer. But is it the only one?
You see those letters in gold on the prow of my ship? Crowder's Folly, that's what they named it. That's what they think of me. I want to cram those words down their petty little throats and let them eat mud. That's another answer.
And that's all? That is as far as your thinking goes?
What other answer is there to your question?
There's my own answer. I want to leave this planet and go elsewhere, to Mars, perhaps, because there are strange wonders yet to be found. Because there will be scarlet sunsets over barren wastes, and in the star-strewn night the thin, cold air of a dying world stirring in restless sighs across the valleys of the dry canals. You may laugh out loud if you wish, Mr. Crowder. I would prefer that to the peculiar repressed smile you're now exhibiting.
You're a very lucky man, Mr. Wilkins, in that you have scientific talent, because your talents as a poet are inferior and very sentimental. All right, you're a sentimentalist, and I'm a man of action. No matter. We can work together, you and I. Your workshop will be ready by morning. I don't need to hear from you again till you have something to show me. If you need to see me, call me day or night. I'll be available. But don't bother me with details, because I probably won't understand what you're talking about anyhow. If you need money or materials or personnel, just tell my engineers. You'll get it, or I'll know the reason why. That's all.
Thank you, sir.
Miss Holmes, get me my engineers.
Yes, Mr. Crowder?
We have 50 men working on preserving that useless hulk out there in the construction yards. Lay them off.
The ship will deteriorate if we do that, sir.
Let it rot. Lay them off.
Yes, sir.
How many other employees are still working for us on the project?
About 3,000, sir, including the people working on experimental motors.
Get rid of them.
Sir?
Get rid of them.
Mr. Crowder, I never thought you'd drop this project. You were so adamant.
I'm not dropping anything but deadwood. You saw what Wilkins had to offer. He's my man. And the rest is junk and nonsense.
Mr. Crowder, he might fail. We ought to have a minimum of protection.
I say he won't fail. I know the goods when I see it. The rest is nonsense.
Several of the experimenters were making much greater progress than I thought was possible. There are great opportunities there.
I'm not interested.
Not only in the field of spaceships, sir. One man has a motor no bigger than a football, which will drive an automobile 24 hours on 4 cents worth of fuel. It's almost finished, sir.
Not interested.
It will be of great benefit to mankind, sir. Your name will go down.
My name will go down in history for this spaceship.
The profits in such a motor, sir.
I have more money now than I even know how to count. And when I make my space flight, I'll have more than that.
Yes, sir.
You just lay everybody off that isn't needed. Give them 2 weeks' pay and my thanks for a thankless job well done. And that's all.
Yes, sir. I'll get it done, sir.
Oh, one more thing. There's no need to let the folly rot. Dismantle it. Sell the basic materials we don't need. Salvage whatever will be useful to us. That's all.
A year's work.
Yes. In 10 years or 20 years, then I do the same thing. That's why you're an engineer and I'm an executive. That's why you work for me. Because when I have to, I can be ruthless with my own mistakes. When a thing has lost its usefulness to me, I get rid of it. Well?
I was just thinking, Mr. Crowder, what would happen to me if my usefulness to you were over? I've worked for you 20 years now.
Just don't give me any occasion to consider your usefulness terminated. That oughtn't to be too hard. What?
Nothing, sir. I'll make the arrangements at once.
Who are you? What do you want?
I tried to stop him, sir.
Well, speak up, man.
My name is Jerri Ustuli. I'm an electronics expert.
Oh, yes, I remember. You're the Indian. Come in, come in.
Do you want me, sir? I can never...
Never mind, Miss Holmes. Just stay outside. Close the door behind you. Sit down, Miss Ustuli.
Thank you, no. I want to give you a gift before I leave.
Oh? You leaving? I thought we still needed you.
I resigned.
Sorry to hear that. I'm told you're a good man.
I want you to understand what's behind this gift.
Huh?
I was working on a power project in my country which would have meant a tremendous rise in the standard of living for millions of my people. I was unable to resist the money you offered.
Well, had you resisted, even more money would have been forthcoming. I placed no limit on your worth to me.
I understand. But you see, I did not come without a sense of guilt, because there was no one in my country who could take my place.
I would assume that.
And now I discover that what I did was for nothing. The spaceship on which I worked is being dismantled.
That's right.
So I have been corrupted by you at a whim. I think you have too much power, sir. I think you use your power for evil, selfish purpose.
Selfish, yes. Evil, no. Only sentimentality is evil.
I think otherwise. And so, in order that you shall not corrupt anyone else, I have this gift for you. Here you are, sir. And just one more shot for good measure to make sure you're really dead. Good.
Miss Holmes, there's a man on his way out by the name of Job. He used to be an engineer. He's not to be molested. He probably won't stop at the cashier, so I want a check for 6 months' salary in advance mailed to his home address. The man showed a certain quality of ruthlessness, which is deserving of recognition. Oh, and have the chief of the company police bring me a new bulletproof vest. This one seems to have been dented in a couple of places.
The new spaceship, according to Wilkins' plans, as executed by Crowder's engineers, was finished within 4 months. It was small. It was shaped like a disc. It gleamed brightly even in the smoky haze of an October sunset. Inside, Crowder and Mr. Wilkins, in a small cubicle at the heart of the machine, sat surrounded by many instruments of a complicated nature. Outside, huge crowds gathered to witness the test. They stirred and murmured, waiting restlessly, as inside the control room of the craft, Wilkins installed the final secret part he had not revealed to those who built his driving apparatus.
Well, Wilkins, what's holding us up?
Nothing new. Oh, sentiment, perhaps? A wish to look once more on Earth's familiar scenes? Yeah. Now the screening is removed. Look at the people out there.
Never mind looking out there. Let's leave that thing closed. You're a sentimental fool. Or are you afraid? Or did you decide at the last minute that your invention would work?
It will work. Sit down, Mr. Crowder. Thank you. Do me a favor. When I press this button, will you please press the button on the arm of the chair in which you're seated? I'll tell you when.
Turn on your motor. I want to hear its roar and feel its tug as we cut loose from Earth's gravity and fly outward into space. That might be a moment in which I'd share your sentimentality.
Press your button now, sir. Thank you.
Yeah. Wilkins, I'm beginning to distrust you. If this is all a hoax, when are we going to take off? You said at 5 sharp, and it's 2 minutes after 5 now. Well, do we move or don't we?
Mr. Crowder, we're already moving. The button you pushed was to nullify the effects of acceleration. If you don't mind, sir, I'd like to open the screen again. Now, care to look? See for yourself.
Wilkins, we're in space. Look down at the Earth. How far we've come. Why, it's no bigger than a toy balloon. No, a dime. No, a firefly. Man, Wilkins, you've done it.
Yes.
I swore to be the first man to conquer space, and I've done it. It's a triumph of power and ambition.
And sentiment.
Blast sentiment. Your maudlin dreaming would have died unborn except for me. I made this possible, Wilkins. Don't you ever forget that. My capital, my forcefulness, my will. Look out there. Space. Stars that never were seen from Earth. And this is only the beginning. We'll build a larger model, one great enough to hold 100 men, 1,000, and cargo besides. Whoever wants to leave Earth this moment must come to me. I am the master of the planets. All right, Wilkins. Turn back now.
No.
What? I said turn back.
No.
Well, we've proved the ship can fly now. Now turn back. I want to start work at once in preparation for the long flights to come.
Not so. We will go on.
What are you doing? Defying me? I'll break your puny little body into pieces.
Can you control this ship, Mr. Crowder? Would you like to be stranded out here in space, just adrift in space without control? Would you like that?
Turn back.
No.
What's the matter with you? Are you out of your mind?
Oh, I am a sentimentalist, Mr. Crowder. Your money and ambition paved the way, that's true, but sentiment was the vital factor that sent me to you. Sentiment, sir. You see, Mr. Crowder, I wanted to go home.
Home? Home? You are out of your mind.
You will forgive me if I remove these primitive clothes?
Who are you?
Oh, it's all right, Mr. Crowder. I hold no special malice toward you. There's no need to be so terrified because you've had your first close look at a Martian.
You have just heard X-1 presented by the National Broadcasting Company in cooperation with Street and Smith, publishers of astounding science fiction. Tonight by transcription, X-1 has brought you The Vital Factor by Nelson Bond, as adapted for radio by Howard Rodman. Featured in the cast were Joe DeSantis, Guy Sorrell, John McGovern, Grant Richards, Louis Van Ruten, Richard Hamilton, and Florence Williams. Your announcer, Fred Collins. X-1 was directed by Daniel Sutter and is an NBC Radio Network production.
The magic island of Euclidia is rising from the sea. Not so long ago, the Euclideans submerged the island, taking it down to the bottom of the old volcanic crater and making everyone believe it had been destroyed. Now the island is coming out of the water again. This brings a very real danger to Captain Tex Bradford and Elaine Raleigh, who are attempting to imprison the Euclideans in their underwater city. When the island is above water, G-47 and his men will have more openings for escape than Tex and Elaine can watch.
How's it look to you now, Elaine?
The island is rising very slowly, but the tops of the defense chambers are showing above water.
At that rate, we'll have a couple of minutes to work in.
And what can we accomplish?
I'm not any too sure, but we've got to do our best to keep those fellows from getting loose.
You have only one charge of your solvent left. Is that correct?
That's right. Only one.
Then that may be used to guard only one exit. And when that island is above water, there are at least 8 openings through which the Euclideans may escape.
Oh, I know it, but we'll have to run a bluff of some kind.
I do not understand fully what you mean by bluffing. But this is the time to be sure what you are doing.
Yes, if you can be sure, but when you can't, bluff.
Then bluff quickly. The island is rising.
Have we got enough compressed air to taxi us around to the other side of the island?
I think not.
It's our only hope.
I will try to cross the island. That is much shorter.
I'm sure of it. But if the island comes up before we get across, what then?
Our position will be no worse than it is now.
You're right, Elaine. All right, give it all you've got.
The jets are wide open. The air supply is diminishing very rapidly.
We're getting across the island, too. Hey, look out.
I will not strike that defense chamber.
We can't open the doors and those things until the island is completely above water, can we?
Not without flooding the entire lower level of the island.
Good. Now, when we get to the other side... Say, we're scraping on the surface channel.
It will be a very narrow margin, Captain. But I believe we will be over the side of the island before we are held by touching it.
Let's hope you're right. We made it.
So I believe.
Now cut your rudders or on hard. We've got to get right back beside that elevator housing before we lose headway.
It will take only a few seconds to complete our circle.
Things coming out of the water mighty fast now.
What is your plan, Captain?
Well, now look, we'll want to stand by as near the elevator housing as possible. near enough that I can reach out and break those bottles of solvent against the elevator door.
I see. And that will allow your solvent to eat down through the surface of the island, and the ocean will flood into that elevator shaft.
Right. And if I remember the layout of this island, they can't shut off that water before it reaches the power rooms and puts the whole island out of commission.
That is correct, Captain. Water going into this shaft will flood the entire island, forcing anyone within it to take refuge in the main city of Euclidia.
That's what we're going to try to do, Elaine. And that's our only chance. When one of those doors opens, we'll warn whoever comes out that if they attack us or attempt to advance towards us, I'll break these bottles over the elevator housing, and the solvent will eat its way into the island in 5 seconds.
An excellent plan, Captain. With the Euclideans driven back into the main city, we will have only the surface airlock to watch.
Right, and we're going to have to do something pretty soon. Looks as if that island is about on top.
It is now in position. Any moment we may expect to see a door open in one of the surface chambers.
Well, I'll hold on to the side of this pier with one hand and hold the solvent in the other.
Is there no way in which I could help you, Captain?
Afraid not. There's not much room in these little doorways.
Look, the central control chamber.
Yeah, the door is opening.
One of the Euclideans is coming out on the surface.
Well, I'll stop that. That's all for you. Don't come any nearer.
And what will you do if I advance upon you?
I'll break these bottles of my solvent against this elevator housing. I'll flood your island.
That would be very foolish, Captain Bradford.
Well, that's what I'll do.
Try to find out what Thales has in mind.
Suppose I break this bottle now. What will you do?
Do you not see the large ray gun protruding through the wall of this chamber at my side?
I'm not afraid of your ray guns. You ought to know that those rays won't penetrate one of your own boats.
This ray will. We will use the metallic ray on you.
What's the metallic ray, Elaine?
It will melt the metal of this plane as if it were wax.
Well, Thales, looks just like we stand here and look at each other for a while.
You will lower your solvent carefully into the water and release it.
I will not.
Then we will turn the ray on your plane.
Go to it. And when you do, I'll break those bottles on the elevator shaft. If we sink, we'll take this island with us.
It will mean your life.
And without us on the surface to open these locks for you, it would mean the life of everyone on Euclidia.
Thales seems to be uncertain.
I thought that might stop him for a minute.
Yes. He's going inside the chamber and closing the door.
That gives us a little breathing spell.
Your position is most uncomfortable, leaning far out the door with your arms extended.
Well, my arms are getting a little numb.
Why not use this respite to relax for a moment? Place the solvent on the floor of the plane.
Afraid to. I'll bet you they're watching us right now. And the minute I take my arms in, they'll blow this plane to pieces with a metal ray.
Yes, that is quite likely. However, you cannot maintain that position indefinitely.
Maybe not, but I can get out into the water and hold these things here a long time. Then when I get tired, you can get out and hold them.
Even so, that will give us only a few hours. It is well after noon now. In a few hours, it will be dark. Then the Euclideans can attack us easily.
I know it, but I want those few hours. Now, if you'll hang onto that arm so I don't bump those bottles against the island, I'll slip out into the water.
Very well, Captain.
Easy now. Don't bump those things together.
I will be careful.
There we are. Now I'll keep floating here where I can support myself on the plane. We'll hold out until night at least.
Patricia Gregory, calling the plane. Gregory boat to Captain Bradford. Hello, Tex. Hello, Tex. Can you hear me?
Gee, Mrs. Gregory, you can't raise them at all now.
No, Jerry, I can't raise them at all.
Well, Joan and I went in and tried that little portable set in the captain's cabin. We thought maybe this set wasn't working just right.
Yes, I know what you and Joan did, Jerry. And even though it didn't fool me, thanks a lot for a grand gesture.
Huh?
Now, Jerry.
Honest, I don't know what you're talking about, Mrs. Gregory.
You don't remember having Joan use that portable transmitter, call me here, pretend to be Elaine, and tell me that all was well?
Oh, I'm sorry. I guess we didn't do so well.
It wasn't your fault, Jerry. Joan couldn't conceal the Euclidean training in her voice. Elaine has moved more often in the world, and she speaks as we do, with very little effort.
Yeah, I should have thought of that.
We all could have thought of a lot of things, Jerry. And like yourself, we thought of them too late.
Oh, now, Mrs. Gregory.
I know what you're going to say, Jerry. And it's fine of you not to blame me for this. But after all, I started the whole thing, looking for Joan. And I gave my permission for Tex and Elaine to attempt this wild flight.
But gee, Mrs. Gregory, we don't know for sure that anything's happened to them.
Possibly not. But it's nearly dinner time. And in a few minutes it'll be dark. And we haven't had a word from them since early morning.
They said the island was being raised again.
And that would mean Tex and Elaine captured. Or worse.
Well, they wouldn't hurt Tex any more than they'd hurt any of us.
But this time it's different, Jerry. They'll have Tex's formula. There won't be any further reason for them to treat us kindly.
Well, quit worrying about it for a little while.
I'm sorry, Jerry. But I can't take it as calmly as you do.
Well, that's what I mean. Be calm, like me.
You don't realize that you've twisted all the buttons off your shirt.
Huh? Well, how did I do that?
Oh, just sitting there calmly, twisting the buttons.
Yeah? Well, I'm not doing any better than you are.
Have you received any word as yet?
Come in and close the door, Joan, dear.
Yes, Mother. You look very worried. What has happened?
Nothing. Plenty of it.
That's just the trouble, Joan. Nothing has happened.
What have you been doing?
I have been in the pilot house with Mr. Johnson. He says we have made unusually good time.
Good time?
It seems to me that we've been crawling.
I do not understand just what has happened. But Mr. McLeod, the engineer, who has done something to the motors. And we have been going much faster than is safe for this boat.
Good old man.
Yeah, the boat holds together.
The motors are making a terrible noise, and I suppose it isn't doing the boat any good. But if we can arrive there by noon tomorrow, well, we may be in time to do some good.
Mr. Johnson says we will arrive at the position of Euclidia at daylight.
Daylight?
Why, Joan, that isn't possible.
I thought not. But we are within a few hours' run of the island.
Oh, if Tex could only know that. It's getting dark, and they'll be in some terrible position there with darkness coming on. And Tex will be figuring that we're 18 hours away.
Daylight's only 12 hours away.
Mr. Johnson said we would arrive in 12 to 13 hours.
Those 6 hours would mean a lot to Tex, if he's waiting for us.
If he's waiting for us, you know he's waiting for us.
No, Jerry. I can only hope that he's still waiting.
Now, Mother, that feeling will not help.
Oh, I'm sorry. You're both so cheerful, and it all seems so hopeless.
We could try him again on the radio if you want to.
Yes, Mother, we will try again.
Very well. But we've been trying for hours.
Well, maybe they're just too busy to answer us, or maybe their radio's too weak, or maybe they've gone on to the island to capture it.
Or maybe a great many other things. But you don't believe it any more than I do.
Oh, all right. I'm scared about what's happened to them, but let's try the radio anyway.
We may as well. Patricia Gregory to Captain Bradford. Gregory boat calling Bradford. Hello, Tex. Pat calling. Hello, Tex. Can you hear me? We are within 12 hours of you. Can you hear me? We will be there in 12 hours. Hello, Tex. Hello, Tex. Oh, it's no good.
Sure doesn't seem to be, but... Well, let's keep the receiver open anyhow.
Oh, do as you like, Jerry. I'm going out and walk around the deck.
Do you wish me to come with you, Mother?
No, Joan, dear. I want to walk quietly, all alone. I'll feel nearer to Tex. Outdoors. He's outdoors, too.
Gee, Joan. Your mother's sure down in the dumps, isn't she?
I do not understand down in the dumps, Jerry.
I mean, she's feeling bad.
Oh, Mother is very hopeless.
Well, I feel the same way. But I thought if we acted cheerful, it might make it a little easier for her.
Our radio message from the other cabin did not deceive her, did it?
Not for a minute.
I thought it would not.
If only we knew what Tex was going
Jerry,
to do.
the radio
Gregory, standing. Island. Guard. Sinking. Hurry. Few hours. We'll sink. Gregory. Hurry. Bradford. Sinking. Hurry.
Oh, Jerry, that was Elaine.
Yeah, and she and the captain are in trouble.
Serious trouble. They are sinking.
Maybe they meant the island.
No, Jerry, their plane is sinking. Elaine said hurry.
Well, look here, Joan. No matter what happens, don't tell your mother.
But, Jerry, she...
No, Joan, not a word to her. We'll tell Johnson, the skipper, and the engineer, and they'll break this boat trying to get up to there. But it won't help her to worry your mother anymore. And maybe we'll be in time. Elaine said sinking. She didn't say sunk. And there's plenty of hope for some good luck between sinking and sunk.
The last time we heard from the Magic Island, Captain Bradford and Elaine were reported sinking. Jerry and Joan received the message in the radio cabin on the rescue boat. And as Mrs. Gregory was out walking on the deck at the time, she doesn't know of this new development. Elaine and the captain have been waiting near one of the elevators on the edge of the Magic Island, sitting in their helpless rocket plane, floating on the water. The Euclideans threaten to attack them, and Captain Bradford slips off into the water, where he's holding the 2 bottles containing his universal solvent against the side of the island. Elaine is getting out of the sinking plane.
Get out here quick, Lane. That thing's going down with you.
I'm nearly free from the plane.
That metal ray up there sure wrecked that shell.
I will try to save this small rubber boat.
And we'll need it.
Yes. We may have to float for hours.
When daylight comes and we're found floating here, it won't take G-47 long to dispose of us.
I do not propose to be found floating here.
We can't be far away.
Perhaps not. The island will be gone, and G-47 will be no threat to us.
What do you mean?
It has been completely dark for some time. I think it only reasonable to expect an attack from the Euclideans.
Yeah, I've been expecting it every minute.
If I'm only successful in inflating this bag from the small gas supply in the plane before it sinks.
Yes. It'd be pretty hard to blow that thing up and swim at the same time.
At least there is some little air.
How much will it take to inflate that boat?
Only a few pounds will inflate it sufficiently to support us for some hours.
We'll need some hours. About 18, I think.
The air pressure is growing weaker.
And the plane's sliding under. Here, better break that hose loose before the rubber raft gets carried down with the plane.
Right.
Here, put one hand on my shoulder and hang on tight. That plane will create some suction going down.
Not much. It's nearly full of water now. However, I will hold it to the island with you. I have the rubber boat.
Well, then let the plane go. Well, there goes our plane.
I think the Euclideans are coming after us.
How can you tell in this darkness?
I saw a thin beam of light for an instant. Someone slipped out of the central control chamber.
And there's only one thing to do. Swim away from this island and take that rubber boat with you.
I understand. I am safely away.
Good. Now I'll break these bottles of solvent against the elevator housing.
Get away quickly, Captain.
I'm coming.
Over this way, Captain Bradford.
I'll take the opposite side of the boat from you.
You did not get any of the solvent on you?
No chance. I was mighty careful about that.
How rapid will the action be on the island?
That stuff is eating through into the elevator housing by this time. I only hope the Euclideans discover it soon enough to get safely into their underwater city.
I feel that they will accomplish that. The automatic controls will begin to work in a few seconds.
Is there any way at all that they can keep the island above water?
No possible way. That island will have to be submerged to its foundation. Everyone in the island will have to flee for safety to the city. And it will take days, perhaps weeks, to raise the island and repair it.
If my solvent doesn't damage it beyond repair.
We may as well prepare for a long, wet night, Captain.
Yeah, it looks like it. If that's the worst that happens to us, we'll be all right.
Listen. The signal to submerge the island.
Yes. That means that all the Euclideans will be prisoners in their own city, while we're free.
We are free, Captain, that is true. But our position is not entirely happy.
Well, I've had prospects I enjoyed more than floating around in this ocean all night.
If we are so fortunate as to float all night.
Why shouldn't we float all night? This boat will support us easy enough.
Yes, it was designed for that purpose, but it is apparently defective.
Defective?
The air is rapidly leaking out.
Where?
Around on this side.
No way to repair it?
None that I know of. I'm holding the leak closed with my hand as well as possible, but it is not perfect.
Wait a minute, I'll get around there and help you.
If we had something with which to tie a knot around this leak.
We have. Strings from those broken bottles are still tied to my wrist.
That will do nicely.
Now, if you'll squeeze some of the air out of a small section near the hole, I'll tie it up.
I'm doing so.
That's good. Now hold it tight. I'll try to knot this so it won't leak much.
A very little will support our weight for the night.
Right. There you are. I don't think that'll leak anymore. Even if it does, we can probably blow enough air into it to support us.
I'm very glad this boat is successful. I would not like to cause you trouble.
Cause me trouble? I wouldn't have any more trouble than you with swimming around here all night.
I've learned a great deal from you, Captain Bradford.
Well, we've learned a few things from you, too.
In a scientific way, perhaps. But from you I have learned that a man may accomplish a great deal if he does it quietly. On Euclidia, every accomplishment was loudly discussed.
We like to talk about what we do in our world, too. Now, Elaine, here, you get up on this raft.
Oh, but Captain...
Come on, up you go. One of us swimming at a time is enough. We've got a lot of hours ahead of us. There's no use in both of us paddling around in this water.
Calling Captain Bradford. Gregory boat to Captain Bradford. Patricia Gregory to Bradford. It is no use, Mother. You may as well stop.
Yes, you're right, Joan. It's nearly daylight. Nearly 24 hours since we heard from them last.
And soon after daylight, we should reach their position.
And what will we find?
That we cannot know until we arrive.
Where's Jerry?
I am not sure. He has been all over the boat at various times. First helping Mr. McLeod with the motors, then relieving Mr. Johnson in the pilot house. Jerry has done much the last few hours, Mother.
I know that, Joan. Jerry's been wonderful. Everyone on board has done their best. And for what?
Mother, you must not look at things so hopelessly. Mr. Johnson says we will arrive at the position of Euclidia shortly after daylight. And the sky is gray now.
I'm older than you are, my dear. Johnson is a grand person, and he's trying to keep my spirits up. But I know too much about boats for that. We couldn't possibly have made sufficient speed to reach Euclidia before noon.
I feel that Mr. Johnson is sincere. And we will locate Elaine and the captain within the hour.
And why don't they use their radio?
They have been on the water, floating in that small rocket plane for 6 days. It is possible their batteries are too weak to reach us.
If we're as close as Johnson says, and if the plane was still afloat, it wouldn't take much of a radio to reach us. No, Joan. That plane is no longer afloat.
Mother, if you do not stop talking like that, I shall put you to bed. I shall indeed. Oh, and here is Jerry. Perhaps he has news.
Jerry, have you heard? Oh.
Nothing, Jerry?
I'm sorry.
Oh, it isn't your fault, Jerry.
I feel like it is. Kinda.
But how could it be, Jerry?
Oh, I don't know, but it seemed like with so many of us on this boat, well, we could have done something to help them. One of us should have had an idea.
That's how I feel, Jerry. As if we'd fallen down on the job somewhere.
You did try to launch the small plane last night.
Yeah, and cracked it up, getting it over the side.
That couldn't be helped. We didn't have time before sailing to equip the boat properly for dropping the plane.
Oh, I know. But I'll bet if Tex had been here, he could have done it.
Yes, Tex could have done it.
Are we not near Euclidia now?
Johnson said an hour just before I came in.
An hour is a lifetime right now.
Yeah, and an hour's too long if they haven't got anything to hang on to. Well, but maybe they had, huh?
Come with you, Skipper?
Aye.
All of us?
Aye.
Well, what's happened?
But where do you wish us to go, Skipper?
Board.
The pilot house?
Aye.
Come on, Mrs. Gregory. I'll bet Johnson's got some news.
No, Jerry. Not yet.
Hurry, Mother.
Come up forward to the rail. All of you.
Well, what is it, Johnson?
I'm not sure if there's anything. The sky is getting lighter.
Yeah, you can begin to see the water around the boat.
Well, we'll all watch dead ahead.
You've seen something?
I thought so, Mrs. Gregory, but I wouldn't be sure.
What did you see?
I thought I saw a light. I turned on our searchlight then, but nothing since.
We'll turn the searchlight on again.
Well, the light from it is so great that it prevents our seeing a small light on the water far off.
Well, turn it on again, and then turn it off quick. And maybe they're looking for us.
Yes, Johnson.
Very well, Mrs. Gregory.
That is a powerful light.
Boy, it sure is.
Sweep the water with it, Johnson.
Right.
And everybody look hard at that water where the light hits.
I see nothing but water.
Just water.
Me too.
Well, this is the worst hour of the day for visibility. Not enough daylight to see clearly, and only dark enough with the searchlight to cast an indistinct glow.
Hey, turn off the light, quick.
What is it, Jerry?
I saw a light. Just a little tiny flare.
Are you sure of that?
Sure, I'm sure.
Where was it?
Almost dead ahead. Just a little off the port bow.
How far away?
Well, unless it was a mighty small light, like a match or a small flashlight, it was a long ways, maybe a mile.
Well, what do you think, Johnson?
I thought I saw the same thing before I called you out.
Well, are we making full speed?
More than that. We're tearing the boat to pieces.
Please change your course enough to meet that light.
Right, Mrs. Gregory.
Oh, Mother, we will find the captain and Elaine safe at last.
Sure we will.
Oh, don't be too sure. I've seen many things at sea that weren't what they seem to be.
Hold it, everybody. I saw that light again. Watch it. Again. Again. Now it's... Hey, it's on longer. There it is again. And again. Count these next ones.
1, 2, 3.
I thought so. Did you see it, Johnson?
3 shorts, 3 longs, 3 shorts.
That's what it looks like to me.
That's so it.
I think so.
Then someone is in danger. I knew it.
Now take it easy, Mrs. Gregory. If they're able to send a signal, they're still all right.
But how can we answer them?
By switching the searchlight on and off. But it glows so long and heats so slowly that it isn't good for signals.
Tip it down here where I can reach it.
What can you do, Jerry?
Wait till I get off my coat and I'll show you. Turn it on, Johnson. Now, I'll cover and uncover it with my code. It won't make very good code, but if Tex Bradford is out there, he can read anything.
Hurry, Jerry.
Send OK, Jerry. It's shorter than anything else here.
Right. 1, 2, 3. There's the O. And there's is the K.
Well, that was clear enough.
Turn out the searchlight. Let's watch for them. There it is. There's the light again. Oh, we found them. That's Tex. I know it is.
Exploring tomorrow. And now here is your guide to these adventures of the mind, the editor of Astounding Science Fiction magazine, John Campbell, Jr.
We all believe pretty solidly that sooner or later almost any problem you name is going to be solved. So, apparently all you'd have to do is just sort of stand by, and if you could wait, it would be solved for you. I don't think that works right. There's another thing to consider.
Exploring Tomorrow is presented by the Mutual Broadcasting System in cooperation with L&M, today's most exciting cigarette. L&M smokes cleaner, tastes best. Live modern. Smoke modern L&M. The Kraft Foods Company, makers of delicious new Kraft jellies and preserves. And Cape Coral, a beautiful waterfront wonderland on the western coast of Florida. In a moment, John Campbell returns with the story of Time Heals. If you're like most couples, you want the retirement years to be as rewarding as any in your lives. Years to do all the things you put off while the children were growing up. Well, those years can be rewarding if you start saving now. And the simplest way to save is by joining the payroll savings plan. Here's how it works. First, decide how much you want to put aside each week. Then, this amount is automatically set aside from your paycheck each payday and put into United States savings bonds. Today, Series E bonds are better than ever because the interest rate is higher, 3.25%, and because the maturity is under 9 years. Now you can get more faster. So make sure your retirement years are happy ones. Join the payroll savings plan where you work today. This message is brought to you as a public service.
Animals have trouble when it's cold. Of course, they grow warm fur. Human beings have gotten around the problem of having to grow that fur and not being able to get rid of it in the hot weather by using clothes instead. Now, that solved that problem very neatly. Of course, it did bring in the different problem of having to make clothes, and having to figure out ways of raising cotton or wool. You know, when you do solve a problem, sometimes it involves setting up a complex thing to make the solution, and that may be a tougher problem than the problem you started with. Let's consider a fellow who tries walking out of time when he has a problem.
Our last night together.
Oh, I don't know, Dorothy, not necessarily. I might come out of that time field a year from now.
Or 50 years from now, when I'm old and tired and ugly, and you'll still be young. No, I think I'd rather you waited at least a century.
The traditional period in Elf Hill, I believe.
But, Jim, let's stop pretending to be so calm and gallant. There are only the two of us here. Let's just curse our luck for the vile thing it is.
There's also the champagne here. Mustn't shock the champagne. I'll open the next bottle.
Oh, but you have to be flip every minute, even now. Tomorrow you won't be Jim Hart, bright young advertising executive, wit wolf, an idol of Manhattan's more high-priced intelligentsia. Tomorrow you'll be frozen in a block of frozen time, Can't you let down the mask just for tonight?
But you see, my dear, there is no mask. This is me. I dare not admit anything else. I'll get that champagne. Oh, forgive my choice of music. Childish, perhaps, under the circumstances, but I'm entitled to a little melodrama, am I not? After all, this is literally a life and death proposition for me. The crypt is right at the end of this corridor, Mr. Hart. Pretty far underground, aren't we, Doctor? Yes, besides being way off upstate. It's in case of, atomic bombs, rising sea level, whatever might happen. After all, this place may have to last for centuries. What's your trouble again, Mr. Hart? Inoperable cancer. My family physician said I'd be dead within a year, unless a cure can be found. And that, of course, is what the crypt is for. Someday a cure will be found. Until then, you will lie here, snug, safe, unchanging, not even conscious of time passing in the outside world. Time heals all wounds, they say. And time is what we have the most of here. This is it. Just step up on that platform between those field coils. I'll flip a switch, and the next thing you know, you'll be in the future. Good enough. Mr. Hart, I was wondering if you have any last messages or... No, I said all my goodbyes yesterday, such as they were. I've had the sense to keep myself legally and emotionally unattached. Well, that should certainly give you an advantage over most of our patients up there in the future, whatever the future is like. Good luck, Mr. Hart. Thanks. But we needn't be so theatrical. You may need luck more than I, Doctor. Here goes, then. Goodbye.
Exploring Tomorrow continues in just a moment.
Hello, everybody. This is Bill Stern, and I'd like to tell you about a tropical paradise where living is so easy that I intend to settle down and stay there for the rest of my life. The name of my dream city is Cape Coral on the unspoiled western coast of Florida. Just picture 2,000 acres of high, dry pine and palm land honeycombed with 50 miles of navigable waterways just teeming with fish they write books about. Boating and fishing facilities, private country club and yacht anchorage, a planned 18-hole golf course, tennis courts, and many other luxuries. You can buy a large 80 by 125-foot home site for only $990. Only $20 down and $20 a month and live here like a king on a retirement budget, or purchase now for possible profitable resale later. The complete Cape Coral story has been compiled for you in easy-to-read literature. It's yours free of charge. A postcard's all you need. Send it to me, Bill Stern. So long for now. I'll be seeing you at Cape Coral, Florida.
To get your free literature, write Bill Stern, Cape Coral, Post Office Box 230, New York 18, New York.
It's certainly a reasonable proposition. If a man can just step outside of time and wait, sooner or later they're going to develop methods to handle the problems that are facing him at the time. They will develop cures. The advance of civilization is sure to lead to a cure of the particular problem man has. That's a simple proposition, isn't it?
All right, no. Do can do step. I reckon.
What? But it's gone. The doctor.
Do understand me?
The crypt is changed. Half empty. Crumbled plaster. Old. And those two men down by the controls, what? Why, they look half Oriental. They're wearing kilts. Future. What year is this?
Well, Merrick Walworth. Yeah.
What year is this? What year is this?
Todd Hart. You are Todd James Hart, are you not? It so says on the record.
Yes, I'm James Hart. And you?
I am called Hallam Rostam Dougal. My kitman here, he is called Walter Rostam Chang. We both belong to the Rostam kith. Do you understand?
No, I don't.
Be calm. It are a shock, I know. Here, lean on my arm.
I never expected so suddenly. What year is it?
2837.
What? 900 years.
Yes. There were dark ages and upheavals, and then during interplanetary era, the mechanoclastic government did not wish. But be assured, tough heart, we are friends.
Can you cure me?
Oh, yes. We have a quick and easy cure for your disease. A synthetic virus which attacks only cancer cells. A month or two in the hospital, and you will be well again.
Well, that's good to know. That was the whole reason for my junket after all. 900 years.
I suggest we all go up to the surface now. The clinic is nearby.
All right. Say, how do you happen to speak my language, and your friend here doesn't?
Natural-wise. Language changes in 900 years. Walter asked I should come interpret until you have learned modern speech. I am a linguist at Intergift Treaty Foundation. Most especially, I have studied the Old American language.
Old American?
Good morning, Tougheart. I am your new nurse.
Well, hello there.
Tougheart. I didn't know that you'd already learned the present-day language.
Oh, I've had several weeks with nothing else to do. Sheer desperation drove me to study it.
You must relax to get well. You know, good sir.
Oh, sure. Sunshine, fresh air, books, music, that's it. That's all I've seen. You don't even show television programs.
It was decided by the philosophic treaty 100 years ago that the unity of the family, and hence the kiss, was impaired by external entertainment.
I've heard that sort of thing a million times. I'm sick of it. I can't even get a smoke in this dump.
Smoke?
Tobacco, nicotine. Puff, 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 puff.
Oh. A chemipotent aerosol. No, I'm afraid, sir, that the biotech machine has not prescribed it for your case.
Oh, never mind. Well, at least you're a new face around here and a remarkably, pretty one. What's your name?
I can't see that that's relevant, sir.
Of course it is.
My public name is Sarah Olaf Brona.
Oh, don't be so stiff and formal. Come over here. Sit down. I won't bite. Not very hard, anyway.
You're convalescing fast, I see.
Oh, sure. I'm practically a new man. Emphasis on man. Girl like you reminds me of that acutely.
I'm afraid I don't understand. Your usage is semantically empty.
Boy. Look, darling, I want to get better acquainted, that's all. I'm lonesome.
I shall consult the psychotechnic files, and if there's anyone registered with a compatible individuality, I will ask him to come discuss with you.
Discuss with me? Well, thanks. That'll be just great.
Exploring Tomorrow continues in just a moment.
This, my friends, is the modern sound in music. Swing turned into bop, and bop turned into progressive jazz.
Like into that live modern flavor. Live modern with the big red L&M.
L&M. Best tasting smoke you'll ever find. Made from the Southland's finest cigarette tobaccos. And you get that full, rich flavor coming at you through the miracle tip. Pure white inside, pure white outside. The patented filter. The patent number on every pack guarantees a more effective filter on today's L&M. L&M smokes cleaner. Tastes best. Light into that L&M flavor. You're really living when you do.
Yes,
It's a simple proposition that if you just wait around, they'll find a cure for your problem. The trouble with the proposition is that it's a little too simple. The other half of the proposition is they'll find other things, too. They'll find other problems to work on. They won't be interested in the type of problems you've been used to.
Ah, Tobe Hart. It is a pleasure to see you well again. Please honor me by accepting a seat.
Well, thanks, but you wouldn't have anything I could really sit on, would you? I mean, I can't get used to this hard, low-legged stuff you call furniture nowadays.
Oh, my apologies, sir. I imagine one does need a lifetime to become habituated to a complex of postures.
Oh, well, forget it. It's a nice place you've got, Tobe Allen.
Oh, pardon me, sir. One friendly word of advice. It is considered rude to compliment a man on his home.
That's why I've come to you, Mr. Tobe Allen. Look, you've studied the history of my own period. You may be able to help me. The rest, they're very polite, but I'm frozen out. I just don't fit in. Everything I do seems to offend somebody, somehow.
You feel yourself isolated?
Well, I made my own way. In the 20th century, I had friends. At least I knew a lot of people. I knew my way around. I was well-to-do. Here, I'm living on a pension out of the charity fund. I'm not invited anywhere because I don't know how to behave. Your conversations, your ceremonies bore me stiff anyway. It was politely explained to me that I haven't a good enough heredity for any kid to consider me as a marriage prospect. What did you take me out of the crypt for? Why did you cure me if I'm to hang around here doing nothing for the rest of my life?
Oh, please, Tobe Hart, relax. I beg you.
Well, give me something to do. Just give me something to do. I'll prove myself. I can start with some simple job, work my way up, study, learn. I'll show you what I can do if you just give me a chance. From the weather station. From the one-man crew of a weather station on the Greenland ice cap. Supply rocket once a month, and I give them all my reports. They try to make conversation. Well, what is there to talk about? All the snow I've been looking at. With the beautiful aurora up there in the night sky, the half-a-year night sky. Oh, sure. I'm sure they would discuss the aurora according to the soundest aesthetic semantics. Hey, shut up, you cracked in the... They're dead. He stopped. Do you hear me? How much do all the machines in this place do anyway? How much do they know? I'm one little man among 1,000 machines. How can I tell what they're thinking in those steel-brained cases? All I can do is copy numbers off their dials onto a printed form. Well, why isn't there a machine to do that, too? Why am I here at all? Jerri, sure, make work. Where's that bottle? At least they have the decency to leave me some bottles. Here, I know I left it. Well, why quit anyhow? Here's a snug home, ample food, books, plenty to read, plenty to drink. Man, I got a maid. There's even a pretty good 10-ounce tape here somewhere. It's going to be 10-ounce. Only no green leaves will ever spring out of me. I'll say it in German. Sure. Dead language. English is a dead language, too. I'm a dead language. Well, that's the way the civilization crumbles. Drink up, Dorothy. Here's to us.
Doesn't move. It doesn't move at all, nurse.
Leave him in his seat, please. It isn't far to go now, is it?
at the crib in another half an hour. But what could be wrong with the nurse?
Obviously some mental breakdown. Nobody seems to know just what.
I think it's called a catatonic state. I don't know. He's insane, at least. The biotech at the Greenland station asked me to bring him back since I knew him best. This sort of thing isn't understood anymore. For better than a century, we've had a well-adjusted civilization. People simply don't go insane. At least not in this rather horrible fashion.
And so no one has any idea how to treat it.
Exactly. Oh, we could try various chemicals and whatever else occurred to us. But we would be working blindly with a grave risk of damaging his brain beyond repair.
So we are putting him back in the crypt.
Yes. The next cycle of civilization. 1,000 years from now, 10,000, 100,000 years. They will know how to cure James Hart.
But will he feel any more at home with them than with us?
Less, I should think. So he may break down again. So badly that even they can't cure him at that time. Then they will have to put him back in the crypt.
God help him.
God help us all.
John Campbell returns in just a moment. Remember how Grandma used to boil jellies and preserves on the stove in the kitchen? What a wonderful aroma. But you know that wonderful aroma was really flavor boiling away. And lots of folks still boil flavor away when they're making jellies and preserves. Not Kraft. Kraft jellies and preserves are cool cooked at temperatures way below boiling to keep the flavor many others boil away. That's why Kraft jellies and preserves have that true fresh-picked flavor, a flavor you can add to your favorite foods. There are so many ways to use these fresh, delicious flavors, such as a mouth-watering strawberry coffee cake. It tells you how in the free recipe folder. Flavor magic for your favorite foods with Kraft jellies and preserves. Just write to Kraft Jellies and Preserves, Box 5310, Chicago 77, Illinois. Box 5310, Chicago 77. Do it now before you forget. And be sure to get Kraft Jellies and Preserves. Exploring Tomorrow was presented by the Mutual Broadcasting System in cooperation with L&M, today's most exciting cigarette. L&M smokes cleaner, tastes best. Live modern. Smoke modern. L&M. The Kraft Foods Company, makers of delicious new Kraft Jellies and Preserves. And Cape Coral, a beautiful waterfront wonderland on the western coast of Florida.
Yes, as time goes by, things do change, but the fundamental things apply. And the most fundamental of all, really, is you can't walk out on a problem and just let it take care of itself. By the time it gets taken care of, it's ready to take care of you, but good.
Join us each Wednesday and Friday night for a fascinating adventure in Exploring Tomorrow. Heard in our cast tonight were Lawson Zerbe, Connie Lembeck, and Sam Gray. Script was by Paul Anderson. Produced and directed by Sanford Marshall here in New York.
This is Mutual, the world's largest network.
Presenting the transcription feature, Superman.
Look, up in the sky.
It's a bird. It's a plane. It's Superman. Yes, it's Superman,
strange visitor from the planet Krypton, who came to Earth with powers and abilities far beyond those of mortal men. Superman, who can leap tall buildings at a single bound, race a speeding bullet to its target, bend steel in his bare hands, and who, disguised as Clark Kent, mild-mannered reporter for a great metropolitan newspaper, fights a never-ending battle for truth and justice.
And now to our story. Having succeeded in forcing his inventor uncle, Dr. Roebling, to sign away all rights to a secret voice machine, Jack Roebling and his blonde wife, Chickie, flee Martin City in a blue roadster, leaving Dr. Roebling half-dazed in a barren tenement room. But Clark Kent, driving to a tenement with Lois Lane, stops for a red light and, recognizing the roadster, follows it. On the open road outside the city limits, Kent jams the accelerator down to the floorboard and grips the wheel hard. Roaring into the night, his keen eyes watch the twin taillights gleaming ahead of him.
Are you sure that's the car? After all, there must be hundreds of blue roadsters on the road.
I'm positive, Lois. I told you I saw the blonde, Catherine Roebling, sitting next to the driver.
Probably her husband. His name's Jack. That's what you called him over the phone.
There's only one thing that worries me.
What?
They're doing 80 now. I can't get any more out of this car. The accelerator's down as far as it'll go.
Sharp curve ahead.
Yeah, I see it. Hold on. Oh, boy. I hope they don't come any sharper than that.
Say, we've lost them, haven't we?
Huh?
Can't see their tail lights.
Oh, there must be another curve up ahead. Yes, there is. It's not a bad one, though.
Oh, I see them now. This is the road to Metropolis, isn't it?
Uh-huh. That must be where they're headed.
But what happened to Dr. Roebling? There was just a man and a woman in the roadster.
Well, either they left him behind, or
what?
Or he's in the rumble seat.
You mean dead?
Yes.
Oh, they couldn't do anything like that. Well, she's his daughter.
I don't think she is, Lois. There may be some relation, but I'm sure it's not that close.
Clark, they seem to be pulling away from us.
I know, but there's nothing I can do about it. I'm trying to force this pedal down further.
We're doing 82.
Okay, sit tight. I'll give her all she can take.
I tell you, we're being followed, Jack.
Stop worrying, Chickie.
But I don't like it. Suppose it's a cop.
So we get a ticket.
But he might ask questions.
Now, look, don't worry. I know all the answers. $50 fines for speeding don't bother me anymore. Why, baby, you know what that paper you've got in your handbag is worth? Plenty.
I'll believe it when I see it.
Why, what are you talking about? It's in the bag. That machine is insured for $10 million. I heard he was offered twice that for it.
$20 million?
Yes.
Well, why didn't he take it?
Because he's a crackpot, that's why. He's giving it to the government for nothing.
Not now, he isn't. It belongs to us.
Right you are, baby.
That car's still behind us, Jack.
Oh, forget it. Think about what you're going to buy first. The mink coat or a couple of dozen fancy dresses. What's it going to be, Chickie?
Oh, I don't know. There's time for that. So what about this voice machine, Jack? We got the papers, but how are we going to get the machine?
I took care of that. I got the key to his place in Metropolis.
You don't miss a trick, do you?
Not many.
What does this voice machine do, Jack, that makes it so valuable?
Well, I never could find out exactly. I guess maybe it's like a radio, only something special. Oh, what's the difference? If anybody wants to pay $20 million for it, there must be something to it. We'll find out soon enough. We should hit Metropolis by morning. Yeah, Chickie, in 24 hours, we'll be millionaires.
With its powerful motor wide open, the roadster flies over the white ribbon of highway, its brilliant headlights cleaving the darkness. Meanwhile, a quarter of a mile behind, Clark Kent and Lois Lane seem to have run into trouble.
What's wrong, Clark?
I don't know. Motor's missing. Oh, great Scott.
What is it?
We're running out of gas.
Wasn't the tank full?
I guess not. Well, that's the end of it.
Now what do we do?
Well, I think I saw a house right around the bend. I can probably call a gas station from there and have them deliver 5 gallons.
Well, might as well say goodbye to the Blue Roadster.
Yeah, I'm afraid so. Do you mind waiting here, Lois? I'll run up to the house and make the call.
I don't mind if you hurry.
Oh, I will. Not only won't I say goodbye to the Blue Roadster, but I'll be saying hello to it in just a few minutes. A nice big Superman hello. There, I'm around the bend now. Lois can't see me.
This is one job I'm going to tackle in full Superman costume. Lucky I've got it on under this suit. There we are. I can leave Kent's clothes behind this bush and pick them up later. Up, and away!
Red cloak streaming in the wind, Superman is off like a bullet through the darkness, his surging flight carrying him forward faster almost than the eye can follow. Passing over the blue roadster, he drops down on the highway a mile ahead of it.
Looks like we lost the car that was following us, Jack.
Yeah, I figured we would. We're doing 90. This freight sure can travel.
Hey, Jack, look. What's that up ahead in the middle of the road?
I don't know. It's a man, isn't it?
I think so, but what's he doing on the road?
Stupid fool. Why doesn't he move?
Oh, slow down, Jack.
I'm not slowing for anything.
You'll hit him. Jack, look out!
Good thing he got out of the way. We'd have smeared him all over the road.
Gee, I thought sure you were going to hit him. Did you see what he was wearing?
Yeah, it looked like a red cape.
That's what I thought.
Hey, what's happening?
We're slowing down.
No, it can't be.
We're stopping.
But that's crazy. The motor's racing.
It won't be for long. Pardon me while I reach in and turn the ignition key.
What?
Here we are.
Hey, what's the big idea? Who are you?
Get out of the car, both of you.
No, wait a minute.
I'm not in the habit of waiting. Get out. Come on, make it fast. All right, I'll help you out.
Oh, you're breaking my arm.
That's only a sample. Come on, Miss Roebling.
I'm coming.
That's better.
Jack, it's the fellow with the cape. The one who was on the road.
No, we're seeing things. It can't be.
You're not seeing things. What's your name?
Jack Roebling.
She your wife?
Yes.
Do you know Dr. Walter Roebling?
Yes, he's my uncle.
I see. So that's the story.
What story? I don't know any story.
I'm afraid you know it all too well. No doubt you helped this clever young woman get your uncle off the train. Not quite certain what your game is, but I can imagine it isn't on the level.
Jack, here's the gun.
Put your hands up or I'll shoot.
Do you think that little pearl-handled toy frightens me?
Get your hands up or I'll let you have it.
Better toss that cap pistol in the bushes or I might lose my temper. Go ahead.
Stand back.
Toss it in the bushes.
Stand back, I said.
Too bad you couldn't see those bullets bounce off my chest. It's a pretty sight.
Jack, he's still standing.
Well, 6 shots. That means the gun's empty. Now what are you going to do? Oh, no, you don't. Stay with us. We like your company.
Let go of me. Let go of me.
I think I'll have to quiet you down. That's better. Sorry I had to put your husband to sleep, Mrs. Roebling, but he's better off that way. Now stop whimpering. Nothing's going to happen to you. Get in the car. We'll just dump this lovely specimen of manhood into the rumble seat. Provided it's empty. Let's see. Yes. All right, in you go. Now, Mrs. Roebling, before we drive back and I turn you and your husband over to an old friend of yours, Clark Kent, I have a few questions I'd like answered.
I didn't do anything. Honest, I didn't.
I know exactly what you did. Where's Dr. Roebling?
Back in Martin City.
Where in Martin City? 218 State Street?
Yes. How did you know?
That's my business, finding things out. Why did you and your husband take Dr. Roebling off the train? What were you after?
It was all Jack's idea. He knew about his uncle's voice machine. He wanted to get the rights to it. He made me help him.
I see. All right. I'll deliver both of you to Mr. Kent, and Mr. Kent can deliver you to Dr. Roebling and the police.
Now that we're all settled and on our way back to Metropolis, you have a number of things to explain, my friend.
Okay, what's bothering you, Lois?
In the first place, why are we going home by train instead of using the car?
Well, it would have taken too much time to get it from where we left it on the road. One of the garage men is driving it back.
All right. Now, where did you find Jack Roebling and his wife?
Just around the bend in the road. They had a flat. He pulled a gun on me, and I had to knock him out.
And yet, all the way back to Martin City, the blonde babbled about being attacked by a giant in a red cape.
Oh, she was hysterical, Lois. What's more important is that we got those assignment papers for Dr. Roebling and probably the biggest feature story of the year.
What do you mean?
Well, you know, I just walked back to Dr. Roebling's drawing room to see whether he was all right. He's
Yeah.
resting comfortably. You know what he told me?
What?
That only 2 people in the world, government officials, had ever been given a demonstration of his voice machine.
Clark Kent, are you out of your mind? Is that what you call the biggest feature story of the year?
Patience, Miss Lane, patience. At 5 o'clock tomorrow afternoon, Dr. Roebling is going to demonstrate the machine to you, Mr. White, and myself. And because of what we did for him, the Daily Planet will be the first newspaper in the world to reveal his secret.
What is the secret?
We'll find out at 5 o'clock tomorrow afternoon.
Yes, what is the closely guarded secret of Dr. Roebling's voice machine? A secret so precious that only 2 government officials are aware of it. There must be some startling reason for the machine being insured for $10 million. A reason all of us will know if we tune in on the next episode of Superman. Don't miss it.
Don't forget, tune in again for the next thrilling episode with Superman.
Look, up in the sky.
It's a bird. It's a plane. It's Superman. Superman is a copyrighted feature appearing in Action Comics magazine. Presenting the transcription feature, Superman.
Look, up in the sky.
It's a bird. It's a plane. It's Superman. Yes, it's Superman, strange visitor from the planet Krypton, who came to Earth with powers and abilities far beyond those of mortal men. Superman, who can leap tall buildings at a single bound, race a speeding bullet to its target, tend steel in his bare hands, and who, disguised as Clark Kent, mild-mannered reporter for a great metropolitan newspaper, fights a never-ending battle for truth and justice.
And now to our story. Having prevented an unscrupulous nephew from stealing the rights to Dr. Roebling's secret voice machine, Clark Kent has earned the elderly inventor's undying gratitude, and as a result has been given the much-sought-after privilege of witnessing a demonstration of the machine, together with Lois Lane and Perry White, editor of the Daily Planet. It is now 5 o'clock, the hour fixed for the demonstration. Kent, Lois, and Editor White are assembled in the basement laboratory of Dr. Roebling's home, an ancient mansion on the outskirts of Metropolis. On a table in front of them is a huge box resembling a radio, but adorned with an imposing array of dials and gauges. Dr. Roebling is talking. Listen.
Now, before I start the demonstration, I want once again to express my appreciation to you, Miss Lane, and to you, Mr. Kent, for your invaluable assistance to me. Mr. White, you may well be proud of your employees.
Don't pile it on too thick, Dr. Roebling. They'll be asking for substantial increases.
Well, if they do, they deserve it. And now to the business at hand. You know what happens when you throw a stone into a pool of water?
It makes a circle of little waves that keep traveling further and further out until they just disappear.
That's correct, Miss Lane. Now, the same principle applies to the spoken word. The moment my voice leaves my lips, it sets up a series of vibrations or sound waves that strike your eardrums and are immediately translated into the words that I've spoken.
Does radio communication work the same way, Dr. Roebling?
But in a similar manner, Mr. White. But now we'll go one step further. It's always been believed that unless sound waves are captured immediately, they're forever lost. Let me explain. Assume that none of you are in this room at the moment. I'm alone. And I say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. However, since none of you is within what we call listening distance or earshot, you cannot hear me. Now, 5 minutes later, you enter the room. Do you think you would hear what I had said 5 minutes before?
Of course not. That's impossible.
Well, they said radio was impossible, Lois.
Yes, and travel by air.
Nothing is impossible, Miss Lane. I have definitely proven that sound waves never vanish. Unfortunately, your ear is not a sensitive enough mechanism with which to pick them up once most of their force has been used. And that is where my voice machine comes in.
You mean your machine can pick up voices no matter when they were created?
Yes, Mr. White. Now, I'll demonstrate. You recall a few minutes ago I said that you could be proud of your 2 employees, Miss Lane and Mr. Kent. What was your reply?
Now, let's see.
He said not to pile it on too thick or we'd ask for salary increases.
Yes, that was it. Now, I'll turn the machine on and see whether we can pick up that sentence, Mr. White. Now, I turn this directional dial to the approximate location of this room, and I adjust this gauge to the exact time when the sentence was spoken, which I noted on a stopwatch while we were talking, by the way. I throw this switch, and now see what happens.
Don't pile it on too thick, Dr. Roebling. They'll be asking
Well,
for substantial increases.
Well, there you are.
It's amazing.
What? I can't believe my ears.
Well, now let's try it with something that you said, Miss Lane. I particularly noted your answer to one of my questions. What happens when you throw a stone into a pool of water?
Why, yes, I said...
Now, don't tell me what you said. Let the voice machine do that. Now, all we have to do is to set the time gauge and throw the switch.
It makes a circle of little waves that keep traveling further and further out until they just disappear.
Dr. Roebling, this is incredible.
Well, now you can see why I vowed that never will this device be placed in private hands.
Why, with your voice machine, war would be eliminated. It would be ridiculous for one nation to plot against another because the very plot could be exposed for all the world to hear. And a world such as, well, Abraham Lincoln dreamed of would actually become a reality.
Your enthusiasm is very gratifying, Mr. Kent. You spoke of Abraham Lincoln. Would you like to hear his Gettysburg Address?
Oh. Is that possible?
Oh, yes. We have the exact time and place. It was 10 o'clock in the morning on November 10th, 1863, at the National Cemetery at Gettysburg. Now, a moment, I'll adjust the dials and gauges.
Kent, we're witnessing man's greatest creation.
The most thrilling thing I've ever experienced.
Now, I think we're ready, gentlemen, and Miss Lane. Now, I'll throw the switch.
Well, what's that?
Why, I don't... Oh, why, of course. It's the sound of a crowd of people gathered there to hear it. Listen.
87 years ago, our fathers brought forth upon this continent a new nation, conceived in liberty, and dedicated to the proposition that all men are created equal. Now we are engaged in a great
Lincoln
civil war.
I'll turn the volume down. But it's his voice, Miss Lane. Of course, Lincoln has been dead for more than 75 years, but his voice lives on, and it will live on forever.
Dr. Roebling, I want to shake your hand and congratulate you.
Well, thank you, Mr. White.
I want to add my congratulations to Mr. White, Dr. Roebling.
And mine as well. Why, it's a miracle, that's all it is.
Well, you're all very kind, and I thank you again. Now I have just one favor to ask.
Name it, and it's yours.
Well, I told you that I would give the Daily Planet the first opportunity to tell the complete story of the voice machine.
Yes.
Well, I don't intend to go back on that promise.
Good.
However, I'm going to ask you to wait just a few days until this model, the only one in existence, can be delivered to the government.
Why, of course we'll wait. And now, if you don't mind, Doctor, I'd like to hear the rest of Lincoln's address.
Well, certainly. I'll turn the volume up.
Full measure of devotion. That we here highly resolve that the dead shall not have died in vain. That the nation shall, under God, have a new birth of freedom. And that the government of the people, by the people, and for the people, shall not perish from the earth.
Imagine standing here and listening to Lincoln's voice delivering those immortal words.
Well, I can't find enough adjectives to describe it, Doctor. It's just stupendous. Now I can see the service that Kent and Lois did for you in rounding up that crooked nephew of yours. What happened to them eventually, he and his wife? I assume you turned them over to the police.
Well, no, Mr. White, I didn't. To my knowledge, it's the boy's first misstep. I couldn't bring myself to give him a police record. But I think he's learned a lesson.
I hope so. Well, I've got to get back to the office. What about you, Kent? Lois?
We'll go back with you, Mr. White. I'll call you in a day or two, Dr. Roebling, and thanks again.
Well, that's quite all right. Now, here, I'll lead you up the steps.
Well, Lois, Kent, you two have the opportunity of a lifetime to write the greatest story ever written about the greatest thing.
Having witnessed a demonstration that left them spellbound, Kent, Lois, and Perry White leave Dr. Roebling's huge house in the suburbs and drive into town, pledged to temporary secrecy concerning the amazing machine that snatched the voice of Lincoln, the great emancipator, out of the air and made it live and breathe again. But unknown to any of them, including the elderly inventor, shifty eyes are watching their departure from behind the hedge surrounding the property. The eyes of Jack Roebling. Crouched beside him is his blonde wife, Chickie. As the taillights of Perry White's car vanish in the distance, Jack Roebling stands erect.
Okay. He's alone now. Come on.
Oh, Jack, you're mad. Please don't do it. If they catch you this time, it's jail. for a long stretch.
Nobody's gonna catch me.
Oh, that's what you said before, and look what happened. He could have sent us up for 5 years, but he let us go. What more do you want?
Now listen to me. I'm the only living relative he's got. He's old, and he'll kick off soon. But unless he's got dough, what good'll it do me?
Oh, I don't know, Jack. Why take any chances?
I'm not taking any chances. The machine won't do me any good now. Couldn't sell it if I had it now that those newspaper mugs know what happened. But it's insured for 10 million smackers. That means if I bust it up, the old man is rich. And I'm his only living relative.
You're crazy if you think he'll leave it to you.
He won't have to leave it. He's got no will, and he'll never have one. That dough will be mine, every cent of it. Come on, we're wasting time.
Oh, Jack, please don't do it.
Come on, I said. I know this house like a book. My old man used to bring me here when I was a kid. The laboratory's down in the basement. And there are 3 windows to it at the back of the house. This way.
Jack, please.
Shut up. I know what I'm doing. Now, wait a minute. Hold up. Keep down. There he is on the 2nd floor. In this library.
He'll hear you trying to get into the basement and call the police.
No, he won't. Floors in that house are 3 feet thick. Come on. But keep low. You got the hacksaw?
Yeah.
You see? He's got iron bars on the window. Give it to me.
Oh, for the last time,
I
Jack.
told you to shut up. You don't like it, scram.
All right. I will.
Come back here. You're in this up to your neck, so sit tight.
But I don't want any part of it. Your uncle treated you better than you deserved. And now you're knifing him in the back.
Since when are you getting so touchy? Your hands aren't so clean.
I know it. I don't want to get them any dirtier.
You'll get them as dirty as mine and like it. Will you hand over that saw?
Yes.
5 bars. This won't take long. Go on. You keep an eye out and let me know if you see anyone. And don't cross me if you know what's good for you. Where's the can of oil?
In your pocket.
Oh, yeah, I got it. Now, let's see how this saw works. Perfect. In a half hour, this window will be wide open.
With sharp steel teeth biting into the yielding metal, it'll only be a matter of time before the iron bars guarding the precious voice machine will be no more. And then what? Will Jack Roebling go through with his diabolical plan to destroy the machine and thereby rob the world of its most startling invention? Don't miss the next episode. There's a thrill a minute with Superman.
Don't forget, tune in again for the next thrilling episode with Superman.
Look, up in the sky.
It's a bird. It's a plane. It's Superman. Superman is a copyrighted feature appearing in Action Comics magazine.
Kellogg's Pep, the build-up wheat cereal, invites you to rocket into the future with Stand by to raise ship. Blast off -5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Roaring rockets blast off to distant planets and far-flung stars. We take you to the age of the conquest of space with Corbett. Space Cadet. Over the dense jungles of the Amazon, a Solar Guard jet ship blasts through the stratosphere. Aboard the speeding craft, Cadets Tom, Corbett, and Roger Manning, accompanied by Sally Wood, are on their way to Amazon City to try to clear themselves of charges that have made them fugitives from the Solar Guard.
Hey, Tom, something's coming in on the radio.
I'll bet it's Captain Strong. He must have received our message, Roger.
It sounds like nothing but static to me.
Well, it's coded, Sally. Our Solar Guard code. Here, I'll set the scrambler.
Come on, Roger, clean it up. We're getting close to Amazon City.
Yep. There. I've got the right setting now.
Captain Strong to Cadet Corbett. Captain Strong to Cadet Corbett. Come in. Come in.
Tom Corbett here. Go ahead, sir.
Where in the universe are you?
Near Amazon City, sir. Did you get the message I piped to you?
Yes, and I was certainly relieved to hear from you. There's a dead or alive warrant out for your arrest.
We know it, but I explained what happened. You believe us, don't you, sir?
I do, Tom, but the orders for your arrest can't be officially canceled until there's been a hearing. So, as far as the Solar Guard is concerned, you and Manning are still fugitives.
That's all right with us, sir. I think it will help us to get those plans from Anders.
Now, listen carefully, Tom. I can be in Amazon City by noon tomorrow. I'll come out of the Solar Guard headquarters building at exactly that time. You and Manning watch for me from across the boulevard.
Right, sir.
I'll get on the northbound slidewalk. You two follow me on the opposite side, and we'll meet at the first changeover junction. You got that?
Yes, sir.
Tom, look at the radar screen.
Great Jupiter. Those are Solar Guard interceptors.
And they're after us.
Tom, what's going on?
Solar Guard ships. We've got to duck them. See you in Amazon City tomorrow, sir. End transmission.
Tom, can't we outrun them?
I'm wide open now, and they're gaining.
What will they do?
Blast us out of the sky if they can. They're firing now.
That was close.
That one hit us.
Hold her steady, Tom.
I can't. The controls don't answer.
Look out. Pull up or we'll crash.
I'm doing my best.
We're headed straight for the jungle.
Hang on, Sally.
Watch it. Brace yourselves. We're going to hit. Oh, brother. I never thought we'd walk out of that one alive.
Oh, it was a beautiful landing, Tom.
Lucky we found that clearing. We just managed to shoehorn in.
Look out. A Solar Guard jet. Hit the dirt.
Did they see us?
I don't know, but we can't stay here now. They'll drop a detail of parapolice down to investigate.
Yeah, we'll have to start moving.
But where can we go?
I noticed the house from the air. It's over there beyond that next hill.
Okay, any port in a storm. Let's hike. Say, look at that place. What a joint.
Why would anyone in his right mind build a mansion like that out here in the jungle?
Well, look, they have an air car. See it parked over there?
Yeah. Maybe we can get a lift to Amazon City, Tom.
I sure hope so. That way we can meet Captain Strong and figure out a way to locate Anders before he knows we're on his trail.
Tom, look! There's someone coming out of the house.
Well, maybe he'll help us out. Hello there.
Well, hello.
Offer to pay him for the lift, Tom. I've still got some of those credits left.
Was that your jet that crashed on the other side of the hill?
That's right, sir.
We're lucky we're still alive.
Indeed you are, Miss Wood.
What? How did you know my name?
Let me introduce myself. I'm Wayne Anders.
Anders?
That's right. And believe me, I'm most happy to offer you the hospitality of home. I insist that you stay with me for a long time.
We'll return to the exciting adventures of Tom Corbett, Space Cadet, in just a moment. So stand by. Spaceman, if you want to start out tomorrow ready for action, you just hurry on down to the breakfast table first thing in the morning. When you get there, eat the breakfast cereal that's tops with the Cadets at Space Academy. Open up a package of Kellogg's Pep and pour out a bowl full of good eating. Right at the first swell tasting spoonful, you'll say, Jumping Jupiter. No wonder Astro, Tom, and Roger go for Kellogg's Pep. This is great. And you know, besides rating ace high for flavor, Kellogg's Pep gets you set for a real energy send-off in the morning. When you rocket off to school or out to play, Kellogg's Pep helps you to travel at full space speed. Pep gives you other important food values, too. Food values that help you build strong bones, strong teeth, strong muscle. Ask your mom to set you up with Kellogg's Pep every morning. Then you'll be starting the day just like Tom, Astro, and Roger. And whether you're heading out to Saturn's rings or down to the field for a ball game with your pals, remember, start your day the spaceman's way with a build-up wheat cereal, Kellogg's Pep. P-E-P. Pep.
When Tom, Roger, and Sally Wood survive the crash of their jet in the Amazon jungle, they stumble upon a big house hidden deep in a steaming valley. But when they seek help there, they are confronted by Wayne Anders, the man they have been hunting down. Now, some hours later, in the basement of the mansion.
Of all the rotten breaks, we ran right into that space creep's hands.
I'm more worried about Sally, Roger. I wish Anders hadn't separated us from her.
Yeah, the poor kid must be scared to death.
We're in a real tight spot. Unless we can find a way out of this hole, we won't meet Captain Strong in Amazon City.
Oh, we might as well forget about that. Just look at this place. Bars on all the windows, and the only way out is that steel door that leads upstairs.
I'm not so sure about that.
Huh?
Roger, do you have any money?
Yeah, some of those credits left, but...
No, not paper money. I need change. Small change.
Oh, well, let's see. Yeah.
Well, let me have that dime.
Here.
Uh-huh. Thanks. Now, let's see.
Hey, what are you fooling around with that ventilator duct for?
This may be our way out. This is part of the air conditioning system. So this duct must lead to a vent upstairs somewhere. And it's big enough to crawl through.
Hey, maybe you got something.
Now, if I can only loosen these screws, we can pull the screen off.
Here, let me help you.
Well, I'm getting this one.
Well, I'll work on this side.
I figure we can lift this whole section out. Then crawl up the duct and force open a grate upstairs.
With our luck, we'll probably wind up right in Anders' lap.
It's a big house. He can't be everywhere. There. This side's loose.
Just a couple more turns over here. That does it.
Good. We've got it. Help me ease the screen off.
Okay. Now, with any kind of a break, we'll be out of here in no time.
Okay, Roger. There's no one in the hall. Crawl out, quick.
I'm sure glad to get out of that dustbin.
Hey, look. Over there on that table.
A portable shortwave set. Hey, our luck's changing.
We'll take it along. And as soon as we're clear of this place, we'll contact Captain Strong.
Wait a minute. What about Sally?
We'll try to find her right now. Come on. Through this archway. Come on.
Hey, what in blazes?
It's an alarm. We must have walked through the beam of an electric eye. Yeah, there it is in the archway.
Blast it. Now we'll have the whole house on our necks.
Come on, we've got to get out of here.
But where'll we go?
The jungle. It's our only chance. Step on it.
Hey, Tom, can't we hold up for a minute? I'm beat.
Okay, Roger. We'll take 5, but no more.
We must have shaken them. We've used every trick in the book.
I don't see how they can pick up our trail for hours now.
Say, don't you think we ought to raise Captain Strong on that shortwave set you took?
Good idea. Well, it works all right. So far, so good.
I'll get to work.
Calling Solar Guard headquarters in Amazon City. Calling Amazon City Solar Guard headquarters. I'm trying to contact Captain Strong. Come in if you read me. Cadet Tom Corbett here.
Corbett, I have a message for you, Corbett. Come in.
Hey, that's Anders' voice.
Blast it.
Go ahead, answer him. Maybe he wants to make a deal.
I hear you, Anders. What do you want?
Your position is hopeless, Corbett. Unless you and Manning surrender at once, you'll never see Sally Wood alive.
Oh, he's bluffing. If anything happens to Sally, he'll never get the information he wants from her father.
I know, but he's in a corner now, and he's desperate.
Did you hear me, Corbett?
Yes, I hear you.
Hey, wait a minute. Hey, why'd you cut off?
We're a couple of blockheads. He's using my voice to get a fix on our position.
Jumping Jupiter, I never thought of that.
Hey, listen, what's that?
You don't tell me he's caught up with us already.
Well, take it easy. It's not Anders. Look.
Like the rings of Saturn. A monkey.
Yeah. He sees us. He's coming over this way.
Well, he won't find me here.
Oh, steady your gyros. He's friendly. Just curious about us, that's all.
Well, I'm not curious about him.
Well, come here, fella. Now, don't be afraid. We won't hurt you.
Hey, what do you know? He's as tame as a kitten.
I told you. He just wants to make friends.
Hey, what in the universe?
He just wants to try on your hat.
Come on, give it back. Okay, we won't fight over it. Keep it.
He looks better in it than you do, Roger.
Hey, what's eating him now?
Roger, look. Over there, the way those bushes are moving.
It's Anders. He's caught up to us again. Let's blast! Okay, Tom. Slow down. I think we've lost him again.
Damn. I only saw Anders.
Well, he had his stooge with him. Juan. The one who locked us in the basement.
Oh. Here comes our old pal, the monkey. He certainly didn't lose us.
You know, Tom, I still can't figure out how Anders tracked us so fast.
Yeah, just what I've been wondering. Even if he got a fix on the set when I was talking to him, there just wasn't time.
Hey, wait a minute. Let's have another look at that set. Some of those babies have concealed tracer beam senders on them.
You're right, Roger. It's here. A UHF sender.
And we've been carrying it around with us the whole time.
All Anders had to do was monitor it and follow the beam, which means we haven't lost Anders. He may not be far behind us.
Well, go on, smash it.
No. Hold it a minute. I've got a better idea. If Anders wants to follow this set, we'll let him.
What do you mean, Tom?
Well, there's no time to explain now, Roger. Just watch me. Mr. Anders is going to have a long walk for himself.
Over this way, Juan. According to the monitor, we're closing in.
We have been close to them before, Senor Anders.
We'll get them this time. I think they're lost. They've been traveling a circle for the last half hour.
Sir, look. The other side of the clearing. Something moved.
There they are. Shoot!
Oh, Senor, he's only a monkey.
With a shortwave set on its back.
They have tricked us. They have escaped.
Not yet, they haven't. They're either headed back for the house to get the girl or for Amazon City to contact Captain Strong.
But which?
Listen, Juan. I'm going back to the house and guard the girl. You go ahead to Amazon City. You can still beat them if you take the lower trail.
Si, senor.
Find those cadets before they reach Captain Strong. And shut them up for good.
Well, there's Solar Guard headquarters across the boulevard, Roger. But I don't see any sign of Captain Strong.
What time is it, Tom?
3 minutes after 12.
Blast it. Maybe we've missed him.
That's what I'm beginning to wonder. No, there he is now, coming down toward the slidewalk.
Come on, let's get on the northbound walk on this side. We're to meet him at the changeover point.
Right. The captain just stepped on the northbound walk on his side. Hop aboard, Roger.
Go ahead, I'm right behind you. Hey, Tom, don't look now, but we're being tailed.
What?
It's that Juan character that works for Anders. He just boarded this slidewalk.
Uh-oh. Anders must have sent him to keep us from meeting Captain Strong.
What can we do? The minute we're clear of this crowd, he'll probably blast us.
We've got one chance. Listen, when we reach the junction, get off the slidewalk and duck down behind the wall, right next to the exit.
I get it. When he steps off the slidewalk after us, we nail him.
That's it. We each grab an arm, but try not to attract any attention.
Maybe we can hustle him into the monorail terminal before he knows what's happening.
We'll try it. Watch it, Roger. Here's the junction. Step off. Down behind this wall, quick.
Here he comes.
Nail him! Okay, Mr. In here.
What? Let go of my arms. Let go.
Move and keep your mouth shut.
You cannot do this to me.
You want to bet, senor?
Enter the terminal, quick, Roger. Now, up against that wall, Buster, and hold still.
Let me go or I call for help.
Just try it. I'll push my fist clean down your gullet.
I hope Captain Strong saw where we went.
Yeah, I was counting on him taking it from here.
Here he comes, Roger, right on course as usual.
You cannot hold me here.
Cut your jets, mister. We're giving the orders now.
What's going on here?
This is one of Anders' men, sir, sent to intercept us.
That is a lie. I am an innocent citizen. I demand my rights.
Now, you'll get your rights in court. These cuffs ought to hold you.
No, no.
Now, you just stand there and keep quiet.
Si, senor.
Now then, what gives with you two? Where's Miss Wood?
She's still a prisoner in the Anders place, sir. We had to run for her.
Well, then we've got to get her out of there. I'll order a detachment of men.
No, sir, that won't work. If Anders finds out the Solar Guard is after him, he might kill Sally.
Let Tom and me go back there, sir.
We know the layout of his place now. We can take him by surprise and then wait for the Solar Guard to move in for the arrest.
That might be the best plan. All right, carry on. I'll take this man back to headquarters and then arrange for a detail to follow you. Oh, one thing more.
Yes, sir?
Stay clear of any Solar Guard units. You're still fugitives, and we can't broadcast a retraction without alerting Anders.
Don't worry, Captain. We'll be careful.
Yeah, extra careful.
We're almost there, Roger. As soon as we cross that gorge, we'll be inside of Anders' place.
Then the real fun starts.
Great galaxy! Hit the dirt!
Oh, brother, those guys are close.
Try to crawl over this way, Roger. There's a big log to our left.
Tom, we're surrounded. Anders must have been tipped off.
They're not Anders' men, Roger.
What?
They're solar guards. See them over there?
By the moons of Jupiter, you're right, Tom.
This is one for the books. We're trying to save Sally Wood, and we're going to be knocked off by our own men, the solar guards.
We'll return to the exciting adventures of Tom Corbett, Space Cadet, in just a moment. So stand by.
Say, spaceman, how are you coming along with your collection of Space Cadet picture cutouts? You know, you can get as many as 4 different Space Academy favorites, full-length pictures of Astro, Roger, Tom Corbett, and Dr. Joan Dale. These picture cutouts are swell for making Space Cadet settings. Just imagine one of the exciting adventures the Space Cadets have been on. You draw a picture of it and put the cutouts right on the setting. You can even make a stage and have the picture cutouts reenact all your favorite Space Cadet adventures. If you haven't got Space Cadet picture cutouts yet, you want to start your collection right away. Ask your mom to get your regular-size package of Kellogg's Pep. Look on the back of the package, and right there, you see your own Space Cadet cutout. It's a full-length picture made from an actual photograph. Each cutout shows you an official Space Academy uniform, too. Cut the picture out of the box, make a little stand for it, and you're all set for a Space Cadet adventure. At the same time, you'll be all set to dish out the best-tasting wheat flakes that ever got covered with milk and sugar. Pep gives you that tasty whole wheat and malt flavor that just tops everything. And remember, there's a Space Cadet picture cutout on the back of every regular-size package of Pep. So don't delay. Ask for the Build-Up Wheat Cereal, Kellogg's Pep. P-E-P. Pep.
Meeting Captain Strong in Amazon City and arranging for a rescue party, Tom and Roger proceed alone toward Anders' hideout in the jungle. Their plan is to free Sally Wood before Anders can carry out his threat to kill her. But the boys walk right into an ambush and are pinned down by the blazing guns of a Solar Guard patrol.
We're trapped, Tom. They've got us surrounded.
There's only one thing left to do, Roger. We'll have to surrender and try and convince the officer in charge that we're no longer fugitives.
But suppose we can't convince him.
It's either that or be blasted. Here, let me get my shirt off.
Careful, Tom. Keep low.
Now, I'll just put this shirt on the end of a stick and wave it over our heads.
Come on, hurry up.
Here goes.
Say, they stopped firing.
All right, you two. Stand up so we can see you. Now keep your hands over your head. Stand still.
Okay, we're not moving.
That's Corbett and Manning?
Yes, sir.
I'm Lieutenant Blake of the Solar Guard. You're under arrest.
You're making a mistake, Lieutenant. We've been cleared of all charges.
Knock it off, mister. I'm taking you in.
Sir, you've got to listen. We're trying to get to the Anders house beyond that gorge. A girl's life depends on it.
You two are going back to Amazon City with me. Guards, take these men to the plane.
Where is your plane, sir?
On the other side of the gorge, across that bridge.
Thank you. Come on, Roger.
What's wrong with you, Tom? We've got to get away.
We're going to.
When we get in the middle of that bridge. You mean jump into the water?
Yes.
Hey, that's a long drop.
All the better. When we hit the water, we'll stay under and swim for the bank. There's plenty of cover there.
You think we can reach the Anders house before they catch up with us?
It's worth a try, isn't it?
I suppose so. Okay, we're over the water. Ready?
Yeah. Let's go.
They're trying to escape. Cut them down.
Miss Wood, I'm afraid I have some very unpleasant news for you. Those friends of yours, the cadets, have reached Amazon City and have reported your capture.
Oh, I knew they'd do it. I knew they'd help me.
You're wrong. Now I have no choice but to kill you.
No, let go of me.
Sorry, Miss Wood, but under the circumstances...
Circumstances have changed, pal.
What?
Watch it, Tom. He's got a gun.
It won't help him.
Nice work, Tom. He's all racked up for the freezer.
Better grab his gun.
Sure thing.
Oh, Tom, Roger, I thought...
Easy does it, Sally. Everything's going to be okay now.
Yeah, the skipper's on his way out with a detachment of men. He'll mop up Anders' whole mob.
What about the plans? Are they still in the house?
Yes, in the safe upstairs. I know exactly where they are.
Good. Well, I guess we can relax until the skipper gets here.
Great idea. Come on, Sally. You sit over here with me. I've got a lot of things to tell you.
Oh, no. Not again.
Don't miss the next action-packed adventure with Tom Corbett, Space Cadet, on Tuesday, when the crew of the Polaris rockets beyond Pluto to meet danger in deep space. Tune in, same time, same station on Tuesday for the next thrilling interplanetary adventure with Tom Corbett, Space Cadet.
Brought to you by Kellogg's Pep, the build-up wheat cereal.
Tom Corbett, Space Cadet, starring Frankie Thomas, can also be seen on television and appears in the comic sections of many of America's leading newspapers. Look for it daily and in weekend editions. Featured in the cast are Jan Merlin, Edward Bryce, Ivor Francis, Grant Sullivan, and Rosemary Rice. Today's program was written by Gilbert Braun, directed by Drex Hines. Jackson Beck speaking.
Kellogg's Raisin Bran has the secret. Kellogg's Raisin Bran has the secret.
And what a secret! In Kellogg's Raisin Bran, the tasty raisins are dipped in honeycomb. That means plumper, more tender raisins along with delicious golden crisp bran flakes. Both fruit and cereal all in one box. And no other raisin bran but Kellogg's gives you the tender goodness of raisins dipped in honeycomb. That's Kellogg's secret. So for your breakfast, make sure you get Kellogg's. Because
Kellogg's Raisin Bran has the secret.
This program came to you from
Escape. Escape with us now to the most evil city in the Orient, and the story of a beautiful but unscrupulous woman who ruled it, as Herb Purdom tells it in his exciting story, Macao.
The streets are dark. It's raining on my hair, my good dress. All very unimportant now. I only know it's a good night to die. Where do you begin a story like mine? I think it began when the devil gathered the filth and evil of the world. He shaped it into a city and placed it on the south coast of China. He named it Macao. And because the devil enjoys a bad joke, he made me queen of Macao's rottenness. And worse, he made me like it. Maybe you've wanted something. Wanted something so bad you'd kill to get it. I did. I wanted a city. This city. I wanted to own every grimy cafe and waterfront dive in it. I did get some of it. A lot of it. The more I got, the more I wanted. And I nearly got it, too. Then 6 days ago, things began to go wrong. I was at the harbor front one afternoon. Out of my way, you scabby bums. Out of my way before I take disinfectant to you. That's right, you stinking rabble. Make room.
Good afternoon, Mrs. Rawls.
Let go of my arm, Martha.
Did you want something on the docks?
Your men have been operating in the city. Your province is on the water, Marsick. You're out of line.
So, there's plenty left for you?
I see. All right, Marsick.
And don't forget that on the docks, I'm king.
Yeah? Well, long live the king, only don't bet on it. Goodbye, Marsick.
Wait. There's no reason for us to fight. I'll do anything.
Goodbye, Marsick.
Yeah, of course, only if I offended you, Mrs. Rose. I'm sorry. We could be friends. I'm on your side.
You just be sure you're on my side.
Lady, that man bothering you?
What?
If you're unhappy with the way that big character's heart acts, maybe I can help.
His heart?
Sure. It just keeps beating and beating. It needs a rest.
Oh? Who are you?
Johnny Hook. Oh, don't bother to introduce yourself. Everyone in Macao knows Mrs. Connie Rouse.
Then you should know I need no help.
I have pretty good references. A fellow named Vic Rouse once wrote me I had a job here if I wanted to claim it.
You knew my husband?
Yeah, we were bunkmates in the AVG. Did a little smuggling together once. I heard he was killed.
2 years ago. Where have you been?
I just finished a hitch with Lou Chan.
The guerrilla leader?
Yeah.
The one they call the White Tiger?
Well, the commies call him worse than that. Mao would hock his hammer and sickle to see old Lou Chan hanging by his heel.
I know. Lou Chan's guerrilla army is still holding nearly half of southern China.
That's right.
Look, my headquarters, the Red Angel, is near here. We can talk there.
Swell.
Perhaps. If you're what you say, you may have a job. If not, well, at least you'll have a chance to taste Willie's punch of the devil. It's good.
And you add a jigger and a half of cognac and a dash of bitters. Then take a lemon, twist and rub it gentle. That's very important. You rub it gentle around the rim of each glass. See, most guys toss the twist into the drink, but that way, it's too strong. All you want is just the stink of the lemon. Here you are. You wrap a tongue around a punch of the devil.
Thanks, Willie. I don't know about the drink, but your monologue will do. Hey, that's all right.
I told you. Well, dummy, what are you waiting for, a medal? Get out, get down to the bar.
Sure, Miss Ross, sure.
That's what I like, a dame with sentiment. Why didn't you just kick him in the stomach and be done with it?
He's used to me.
I'll bet he is. You're pretty, you're smart. I can see why Vic married you. But how do you run a setup like this? Vic spoke Cantonese. He knew the people. You?
It isn't necessary.
All brain work, huh? Well, honey, you gotta be human, too. You gotta understand feelings. Like this one, for instance. There.
Is that all?
No, I'm liable to kiss you again.
Fusang.
What? Well, sliding panels. Who's the Chinese gun toter?
The name is Fusang, foolish one.
Huh? You look a little old to be playing games. Honey, aren't you being a little melodramatic over a kiss?
Shut up.
Oh, now, look.
Shut up. You think you're tough, Johnny Hook. Too tough to obey a woman. Well, Fusang, teach Casanova the penalty for misjudging me.
Oh, now, hold up, sister. All I did...
Give him another one, Fusang. I don't want him to make a mistake about me again.
As you wish.
I think he's softening, Fusang. Pull his head back. He's dripping blood on my rug. All right, Johnny, you're not out. Let's talk a little. What's your name?
Johnny Hook.
The real one.
John Butterfield.
We'll call you Hook. You say you knew Vic. Describe him.
Tall, dark-haired. He had a scar over his right eye.
How'd he talk?
Drawled. He was a Texan.
You wanted any place?
No.
Ever kill a man?
Sure, in the war. Who didn't?
Otherwise?
A couple. Look, what's with all the talk?
Why'd you quit Luchan?
Luchan? You fought for the White Tiger?
Sure, but my salary started coming in the form of promises. I like to get paid for my work. So?
That is the economic necessity of life. But you must tell me of Louis Chan sometime.
Later, Fusang. Johnny, you wanted to know how I run this setup. Well, Fu Sung handles the Orientals. He speaks a dozen dialects.
Go on.
As a rule, I don't hire white men. They can't be trusted.
Maybe I'm an exception.
Maybe. We'll see. Your first job will be on a man named Peter Marsick. I want 6 of his boats destroyed tonight. He'll be supplied with bombs and a fast speedboat. While I talked, I watched. I knew from watching him take Fu Sung's blows that Johnny was tough. I hoped he was tough enough, for I was lining him up for the world's most dangerous murder.
It is dark, little one.
We can still see Johnny's boat ahead.
You take quite an interest in him. Would you like some gum?
No.
It is good gum, made in your country. Chewing gum quiets your nerves.
There's nothing wrong with my nerves. Pull into this cove. We can watch from here.
Yes. He is ready to make his run. I hope all goes well.
Yeah.
Shall I mount the machine gun in the rear? If he is pursued too closely, I can discourage them from here as they pass.
Perhaps you'd better. But if it's the police, don't shoot.
Of course.
He started his run.
The gun will be ready in a moment.
He's at the line of boats. There they blow.
An unfortunate waste of good boats, little one.
I want to be sure Marsick never challenges me again. This'll stop him.
Indeed it will. Those boats cost Marsick a fortune. There. The gun only needs loading.
Here comes Johnny. He's got his boat wide open.
Behind him it is clear. No. Little one, look. A police cruiser.
Police? Stop them.
But little one, you know we must not fire on the
Stop
police.
that cruiser. The men are forward, trying for the engines aft.
No, little one, this is insane.
Stop that cruiser or I'll ram it.
Very well.
You did it. They're on fire. They're jumping.
Please, little one, let us go.
Yeah.
All for that stranger. You are a fool.
Shut up, Fu Sung. I run this thing.
You are angry, little one. We will discuss it later. No more disaster. I'm out of gum.
You just started a new stick.
It is unfortunate, but I swallowed it.
Hi, Connie. Everything quiet?
Come in, Johnny.
Oh, honey, our 6 boats are matchwood now.
Mrs. Rawls.
Oh, Mrs. Rawls. I got away clean, but someone did a devil of a lot of shooting behind me.
You idiot. You forced us to sink a police cruiser.
I forced... You mean that it was you behind me?
Fu Sung and I. You're not with Lou Chan fighting the communists now, Johnny. Fights cost me money.
No, how?
The cops. Well, they won't be able to prove anything, but that's because I dumped a machine gun worth $600.
I'll steal you no one.
Forget it. You did a good job on the boats.
Thanks.
Little one, Inspector Kaiwan, downstairs in the club.
Thanks, I'll be down. Johnny, you better get out of here and stay out for a day or so. Use the back stairs.
Right. Oh, and Connie, Mrs. Rawls.
Yeah?
Thanks.
For what?
My life. It's not much, but I like it. You know, if I can keep you around, I may die a natural death yet.
I gave Johnny 3 minutes, and I went down to the nightclub. The Red Angel wasn't only a good front, it was something else. Something special. Just for me. It was smoky enough for a 5-alarm fire. And the combined smell of liquor, perfume, and unwashed bodies was enough to make a buzzard back off. But to me, the Red Angel had never lost its fascination. I wouldn't have traded it for heaven.
Mrs. Rose, Inspector Carver.
We've met. On many occasions.
Yes, indeed. The number of our meetings has not dulled my enjoyment of your beauty, madam.
Yeah. A drink?
Thank you. No. It is my sad duty to try and discover proof of your activities last night.
Yes.
If you were I, would you use trickery or threats? Fusang has given me your alibi. Your boats, of course, have been prepared for our visit.
Is that all?
I would like to chat for a while. Perhaps I can trick you.
You've had your visit. Unless you bring a charge against me, get out. Cops give the place a bad smell.
Is it possible? Nevertheless, a year ago, you were more cautious with me, madam. You have given me hope at last.
Hope? What hope?
The most powerful drug in the world is power. The addict destroys himself. And you, madam, have become an addict. Good night.
I was always fascinated by the smell of evil. Even when I was a little girl, I used to pretend my dolls were... Well, no matter. Let's say I was bad to begin with. The only wages I wanted to earn were the wages of sin. Above all, I wanted to be bad in a big way. And in Macao, 6,000 miles from my hometown, I made it.
That's only me, Mrs. Walls. Willie.
Well, come on in, dummy. Don't stand there.
This one.
2 drinks, Willie. And make 'em good.
You oughtn't to talk like that to me, Mrs. Ross. Call me a dummy. That isn't very nice.
Oh, shut up. Just mix the drinks and turn on that blasted fan before I suffocate.
This one. I'm going to leave you, Mrs. Ross. I've gone home.
Oh, sure. The drinks, Willie. Dream about home tomorrow.
I will. That's when I'm gone. I saved my money. Yes. See? It's all in this wallet. I'm going home after 10 years.
Well, you really do have the money.
Yes, ma'am. I'll make the drinks.
Do that.
Evening, Connie. Oh, hi, Willie. How's the drinking business?
Oh, people still doing it. They always do it. I'm going home, Johnny. Tomorrow.
Willie.
Home after
Willie, Johnny's not interested. Get out.
Sure, Mrs. Ross. Sure.
What are you trying to prove, Connie?
What do you mean?
Kicking that poor guy around. Does it make you feel good?
He's a dummy. He doesn't care. Help yourself to the drinks and hand me one. I'll call down and make amends to Willie.
Yeah, you do that. Here you are.
Thanks. Fusang? Willie's on his way down. Give him the night off and tell him the drinks are on me. Yeah, champagne. And listen, he's carrying a bankroll. See that he doesn't have it in the morning. Mm-hmm. That's right. Oh, and that champagne. Make it the cheap kind.
So Willie doesn't get home after all.
He's a good bartender when he's sober. And I like these.
Well, that's a good reason to bust a man's drink.
Inspector Carver has dropped his investigation.
He knows it's you.
He can't touch me. I'm too big.
Yeah, you're too big.
But it's nothing to what it will be. And you too, Johnny. If you can bear the way I treat my bartender.
Oh, I'm a louse already. I may as well go all the way.
$250,000? Help you make the trip?
Quarter? Hey, how many of those drinks have you had?
One in.
Do I want to breathe?
It's a big order. Dangerous job.
So was the war, only it didn't pay so well. Go on.
Mao's communists are taking over in China. I'm going to help him for $250,000.
And?
Macao.
Macao? You mean the whole city?
The whole city.
Well, I give you credit, baby. You go nuts in a big way.
Well, I've made the deal.
All right, break it down for me.
It's very simple. You'll assassinate the guerrilla leader, Lu Chan. Johnny's face was the color of blue cheese as he stared at me. But I knew the power of money over men like him. That $250,000 would buy better scruples than his. And in case he needed extra encouragement, I gave him an additional promise and a kiss. We both liked it.
Oh, baby, baby.
Johnny. Again.
You love me?
Yes. Yes, I do. Johnny.
Hmm?
You'll do the job?
Sure. I'll start making plans right away.
Good. Keep in mind what you're working for. $250,000. Me. Now drink your drink, honey. The ice is melting.
8, 9, 10. Your play, little one.
I should stop now. I never win against you, Fusung. 4 of diamonds.
Mrs. Rawls, you got to give it back to me. You stole my money. It ain't right. Give it back.
Now, Willie, don't blame me if you got drunk and were rolled.
Please, I saved for 10 years to get that money.
Jack of hearts to you, Fusung.
Give it back to me or I'll kill you. See, I got a gun.
Don't be a fool, Willie.
She is right, Willie. Don't be a fool. There are at least 200 men who would make sure you never left Macao alive. They would get you in an alley, in the street, somewhere. You know they would.
All I want is my money. Maybe I'll tell the police.
Who's your next of kin, Willie?
But my next of kin?
Your health is getting bad.
No, wait. I didn't want to blab the police. I was just kidding.
I was sure you were. Get out of here, Willie, and leave the gun.
Sure, Mrs. Ross, sure. Here.
That dummy. Cut his salary $10 for son. He saves too much. 3 to you. Gin? I have the devil's own look. I guess I just don't live right. That's nice, Frankie.
Little one, it's been a good night. The money flowed in.
Good. Tell Willie to make me a drink. Go on, Frankie.
Good evening, Mrs. Rawls. It is indeed a lovely melody.
No, hello, Inspector. Slumming?
Slumming? I do not believe I understand this word.
Forget it. Play some more, Frankie.
I brought you word that I thought might distress you. Peter Marson committed suicide an hour ago. So it is considered humane to be sad when an acquaintance meets violent end.
Especially when I'm supposed to have blown up his boats and driven him to it, huh? Get out of here, brass hat.
As you wish. You seem to hold my work in great disfavor.
Look, Inspector Carver, I don't like cops, and I don't like you. So do me a favor and stay away from me.
Good night, Mrs. Rawls. Oh, good evening, Mr. Hawk, I believe.
Yeah. Good evening, Inspector. Taiwan, I believe.
Taiwan.
Hi, Connie. That's a nice tune. What is it?
Softly as the morning sunrise. My favorite. Thanks, Frankie. Come on over to the bar, Johnny. I've got a drink waiting.
Here's a drink, Mrs. Rawls.
Willie, fix me one, will you? I need it.
Sure.
Well, Johnny, figured out your plan?
Yeah.
Well? Oh, don't mind Willie there. Tell me.
I figured out a way to kill Lou, chum. But I'm not going to do it.
Say that again.
You heard right, Connie. I'm out of the deal.
Yeah, Johnny.
Thanks. Oh, boy, you're still as good as ever.
Thank you. Glad you like it.
Johnny Hook, you're not backing out of this deal.
I'm already out. Oh, look, Connie, you had me tabbed right, I guess. For that kind of money, I'd kill a man. But not if it means the end of what a lot of guys I knew died for.
Died for? This will mean more power for us than we ever dreamed of.
I don't dream. I have nightmares.
How about you and I, Johnny? Doesn't that count at all?
I told you once, Connie. Sometimes it isn't just brain work. You have to understand the way people feel. Oh, I'm sorry. You don't know what I'm talking about.
Johnny! Johnny! Stupid, sentimental fool. You're forcing me to...
Want a drink, Mrs. Ross?
No, I'm going upstairs. Clean up and lock up. And if you drink any of the liquor, pay for it.
Little one. I have just finished. Would you care for some gin rummy?
Johnny Hook has just betrayed us. He just left. You know what to do.
Johnny? But how?
Never mind how. Pass the order along.
You know what you are doing. Once I give that order, he is a dead man.
That's the kind of a man I want him to be. Do as I say.
Yes. Good night, little one. I will tell them to make it quick. You'll never know what happened.
Johnny would never know. But I would. I sat at my desk staring through two blank eyes at the room. Only I was seeing Johnny walking Macao streets, past this alley and the next, always going closer to the one that held his death. I looked out at the window and saw it was beginning to rain.
Mrs. Rawls.
Go away.
I give the order, Mrs. Rawls.
Then go away. What did you call me?
Mrs. Rawls.
But I'm your little one. You always...
There is no little one. You killed her when you plotted to betray my people.
What? So Willie shot off his mouth.
As you say, Willie shot off his mouth.
All right, so I didn't tell you about it. I would have cut you in on it later.
Even now you do not understand. You betrayed my people, the men who make up your organization, me. We shun is all that stands between us and communist slavery.
Get a soapbox, patriot. Everybody's waving a flag tonight.
I wished only to tell you that you are through in Macao.
You forgetting I own this place? This and all the other places, the cars, the boats, the guns, everything?
But I control the men.
So I'll get new men. Now get out. Get out. Get out. I'm sick of the sight of you.
Certainly. Only it is just fair to tell you, Mrs. Rawls, the penalty for betrayal in our organization is death, as you know. I passed the order for yours tonight.
How could it happen? One moment I was all powerful and my plans were set to make me owner of Macao. And then I was alone, my power gone, and I was just another woman. No, not even that. For there outside the wet window was my death waiting for me. Somehow I found myself driven to meet it. I went down and out into the rain.
Well, hello there, cutie. How's about a nice warm drinky, huh? Hey, what's the matter? Too big to drink with a sailor? Snooty dame.
Which one? Which doorway will it be? Rain is so clean. The Macao glistens like a polished black diamond now. I wish I'd gotten up early more often. I never realized how wonderful it is to see a sunrise. I like walking in the early morning. Perhaps if I hurry, I can catch Johnny.
Under the direction of Norman MacDonald, Escape has brought you Macao by Herb Purdom, starring Michael Ann Barrett and Stacey Harris with Raymond Burr. Featured in the cast were Lou Krugman, Charles Lung, Paul Dubov, and Frank Gerstle. The special music for Escape is composed by Leith Stevens and conducted tonight by Wilbur Hatch.
Wheat checks, rice checks, and good hot Ralston present Space Patrol! High adventure in the wild, vast reaches of space. Missions of daring in the name of interplanetary justice. Travel into the future with Buzz Corey, Commander-in-Chief of the Space Patrol. In today's transcribed Space Patrol adventure, Buzz and Happy are in the frozen polar region of Planet X. Pursuing Prince Baccarati into the shaft of an Endurium mine, they're unaware of a huge figure lurking behind a shoulder of rock.
Baccarati and the line go in here. I hear them downstairs. You can tell me right soon? Not yet. We'll be quietly prepared.
Hey, Happy, what's the matter?
He's got me. It's lifting me off the ground.
Giant native.
Crushing my chest.
I'll give him a blast with my rake.
Why, you big fuzzy gorilla.
Finish them off, Grenu. Finish them. We'll return in just a moment with today's exciting Space Patrol adventure on the ice cap of Planet X. Someone new will come aboard Commander Corey's rocket ship. Someone new will enter the pilot's compartment and take over the controls of the commander's great space rocket Terra 4. And that someone can be you. Yes, you may be the lucky space patroller who wins the rocket ship Terra 4 for your own clubhouse. A huge rocket clubhouse and $1,500 cash. That's what you can win as first prize in the amazing Name the Planet contest. And here it comes, pulled along by an honest-to-goodness full-size motor truck. A giant silver and scarlet space rocket Terra 4. What a rocket! Length, a terrific 35 feet, big as an airplane. Weight, a gigantic 10,000 pounds. Equipment, specially outfitted as a clubhouse on wheels. And what a clubhouse! It's got real bunks built in and lockers for space gear, electric lights, cooking equipment, just about everything you need for camping, hiking, sightseeing trips, any kind of adventure, any place you'd want to go in your rolling rocket clubhouse. And space patrollers, all it takes to send the giant, great rocket clubhouse and the motor truck and $1,500 rolling toward you is one word. And that one word is a name for Planet X. A name for Planet X. That strange, mysterious new planet, 5,000 times bigger than Earth. The home of the cruel Prince Baccarati. But I'll tell you more about that in just a few moments and more about the 1,750 other terrific prizes you can win in the Name the Planet contest. And now, today's Space Patrol adventure on the ice cap of Planet X. Commander Corey at last has Prince Baccarati in a position where the evil ruler of Planet X can be compelled to liberate hundreds of human beings whom he has forced into virtual slavery. With Buzz holding a ray gun on the power-mad prince, Baccarati has reluctantly ordered a fleet of his ships to come to the polar cap to transport the captive natives to their homes farther south. From the ship, the commander is now supervising the evacuation by means of a short-range spaceophone, while Cadet Happy guards Baccarati and his assistant, Dr. Malone.
Corey to Carson. Come in, please.
Carson here, Commander.
How many men are left to be evacuated?
Around 400, sir. They're mostly thugs, and the school of technicians have signed to help me.
That's on. You handle them all right?
Oh, I think so, sir.
All right, Carson. Notify me when the last man is aboard. Corey out. All happy? In an hour or so, we'll have every one of those natives down in the valley where the ships can pick them up.
What about Carson and men from the other planets? Are they going with the natives, sir?
They'll have to. And they'll be dropped off with a group of natives that are going farthest south.
Oh, you mean they'll live with the natives until our space patrol ships come to get them?
Yes, we'll take care of that arrangement as soon as Baccarati's ships get all the natives safely home.
You're taking quite a bit for granted, aren't you, Commander?
You aren't counting on your men rescuing you, are you, Baccarati?
Don't forget, this is an enormous planet, Commander. I control it. And there are just two of you. The nearest space patrol ship is millions of DUs away.
When you give the order to cut off the defenses, they'll be here soon enough.
Did it ever occur to you that my men might refuse to let the space patrol into Planet X? They might even defy my orders to keep from being invaded.
I thought of that. But there are plenty of people on Planet X who hate you. They don't want to stay here. When they get a chance to escape, they'll help. Don't worry about that.
Sure, look what happened right here in your Endurium mines. Even your own men wouldn't work.
Carson calling Commander Corey, emergency.
Corey here. Go ahead, Carson.
We've lost one of our thugs, this big Grano I told you about. Besides him and Baccarati, his men have made it tough for his own people down in the mine.
What do you mean you lost him?
4 or 5 big thugs jumped him just as we were getting aboard the mining cars. He broke away and ran toward the mine shaft. Shall I send some of my men after him?
He's a thug and used to this cold climate. He'll stand a better chance here. Let him go.
Yes, sir.
Are all the natives in the cars now?
Yes, sir. We're ready to shove off to the valley whenever you give the order, Commander.
I'll be right out, Carson. Happy, put Baccarati back after the Langlo and lock him up.
Yes, sir.
I'll be back as soon as the last car's gone down the grade.
After locking Baccarati in the aft compartment, Happy returns to the controls to wait for Commander Corey. Meantime, Baccarati paces his narrow quarters and glares at Dr. Malengo.
You're supposed to be a scientific genius, Dr. Malengo. Think of something. Get me out of this.
I already have, Your Highness.
Oh, then let's hear it.
But all this laid down.
The last car is about to pull out now. A bunch of those big, stupid thugs. And a few technicians. Corey's out there now.
Excellent. When he comes back, we have a surprise for him.
Well, what is it?
When the commander searched this compartment for weapons, he overlooked something. This secret panel in the bulkhead. Look, Your Highness.
But there is nothing in it.
I beg your pardon, Excellency, but there is. This.
Oh, just a metal cylinder. What good is it?
It contains Valerian-12, under pressure, an irritant gas. It should enable us to overpower Corey and the Cadet and resume control of your ship.
Splendid! Splendid!
How does it work? Just press the small lever on the end.
And when the gas affects us, too?
If you point it directly at Corey and the Cadet, and then cut it off, they'll get by far the worst of it. You'll have the advantage. It will be easy to grab their weapons and knock them out.
Good. Give me the cylinder.
As an icy wind whistles bleakly through the mountains, a train of mining cars begins its journey down the grade to the valley, several miles below. Commander Corey watches the last car round the curve, then returns to Baccarati's ship. As he closes the inner hatch, he turns the heat control of his thermo suit to 0.
If I ever have to come to this part of Planet X again, I'll wear a space suit.
Just think of those poor guys having to live up here month after month, digging Endurium in this cold. Wow.
Well, it's all over now, I hope. Get ready to blast off, Happy. I want to be up over the valley when Baccarati's ships get here to take the men away.
All right, sir. Oh, can I take off this thermo suit? It's pretty warm here in the ship.
But leave it on, Happy, just in case. If those ships start trouble and shoot us down, we'd better be dressed for this climate.
Yes, sir. But would they dare shoot at Baccarati's ship?
Put yourself in the place of the men who heard the spaceophone message. Here was Prince Baccarati ordering more than 1,000 slaves released and returned to their homes.
That would sound odd coming from Baccarati.
You bet. They know something's up, but they don't know what. Still, his regular gang probably will carry out his orders without question.
Mm-hmm.
But suppose one of those ships is piloted by someone who wants to escape from Planet X. A captive pilot. Would do anything to get rid of Baccarati.
Oh, he'd blast us out of the sky before we could warn him.
Exactly. I'm going back aft and get Baccarati. It might be handy to have him near the spaceophone when his men show up. And don't blast off till I get back.
They're coming, Mango. Get ready to rush them when I release the gas.
Yes, Your Highness. All right, Baccarati. Come on up front. We're blasting off.
Of course, Commander. Just as you...
Hey! Get his gun, Mango! No, you don't! I can't get the gun. Come on, we'll get out of the ship. Hurry, while Corey can't see to the airlock. Happy, stop them! Happy! Stop right where you are, Baccarati. Try and stop me, Cadet. Hurry, Malengo. They're both blinded. But, Your Highness, we can't go outside. Will you come on? I'll be outer hatch. Goodbye, Corey. Your Highness, where can we go? We'll freeze to death. Into the first mine shaft. It will be warmer there. They'll track us down, and we're unarmed. There's a spaceship hidden in a cave. If we can make that, we're safe. Come on, into the shaft. Hurry before Corey sees us. Wood out of the wind. Anyway, it's still cold. Well, Your Highness, look. A man, a monster. Back in the shaft.
It's one big paw.
He's coming toward us. Use the gas on him.
I can't. I got the cylinder jumping out of the ship. And you come save me. Who are you? Me, Granu, overseer. Granu make all thugs work hard.
Oh, yes. Granu. Of course. I've heard of your loyal service.
Take Granu with you in Skysled. Granu work for you, always.
Of course, Granu. But there are two wicked men here. They're trying to harm me. They are bad men. Do you understand?
Granu, understand.
You must stop them. Press back against the wall of the shaft. If they come in here, kill them.
Kill?
Yes, they're coming. Granu, don't let them get past you. Stop them, or you will stay here forever.
Must have gone into this shaft, Happy.
Yes, sir.
You're right about the gas wearing off, sir. My eye's still smart, though.
They're running through the shaft and might be able to hear them stopping them. In here,
Shall we get a time?
move as badly as you can.
The shaft doesn't have any safe.
Happy, what's the matter?
Something's got me. It's lifting me off the ground.
It's a giant frog.
Where's my chest?
I'll give him a blast as I rake.
Why, you big fuzzy gorilla. Finish them off, then. Finish them.
We'll return to Space Patrol in just a moment. Look out! Clear the way! Here it comes! America's best-looking, best-riding bicycle, the Schwinn Varsity. A bike with 3-speed gear shift for double-fast pickup and 2-wheel handbrakes for double-safe stopping. Yes, that's the bike 750 of you Space Patrollers are going to be riding, because the second prize group in the great Name the Planet contest is 750 Schwinn Varsity bikes. Gang, there just never was a contest like this before. A contest in which you have a chance to win a huge rocket clubhouse on wheels and 750 chances to win a Schwinn bicycle. And, gang, listen to what you've got 1,000 chances to win. Third prize group, 1,000 pieces of regulation Space Patrol equipment. 250 autosonic rifles, 250 outer space helmets, 250 Space Patrol emergency kits, and 250 stainless steel Space Patrol wristwatches. And remember, all it takes to win the Rocket Clubhouse or a Schwinn bike or one of the other big prizes is a name for Planet X. You just name that tremendous new world, 5,000 times bigger than Earth. Planet X, land of man-eating plants, enormous monsters, kingdom of the arch-enemy of the Space Patrol. And, gang, this is the easiest contest you've ever heard of. The contest in which everyone, yes, everyone, can get a free prize. So be on the lookout, because in just a little while, I'm going to tell you how you can enter the exciting Name the Planet contest and get your free prize. And now, back to our Space Patrol adventure on the ice cap of Planet X. Fleeing into the shaft of the Endurium mines on the polar ice cap of Planet X, Baccarati and Malengro encountered Granu, a member of a race of shaggy giants that inhabit the Arctic regions of the remote planet. Knowing that Granu has been driven away by his fellow tribesmen as a traitor, Baccarati promised to help the abandoned native if he would attack Buzz and Happy when they entered the mine shaft.
Granu, finish them, I tell you.
Finish?
Yes, kill them. Don't you understand?
You? No. Dogs not kill.
What do you mean, dogs don't kill? Did your own tribe drive you away? Did they leave you here to die?
I've not killed Granu.
Oh, I thought you were going to obey my command.
Granu obey. I must tell Granu to stop men. Granu do this. Now take me in Sky Sled. Take me where Granu can find food.
Fucking savages, Your Highness. Let's get to that ship before we freeze to death. We might as well go in our own ship now. But first, I'll just release Corey and the Cadet of their messages.
Granu, come with you. Granu worked hard for Highness. Granu make other men work too.
Your usefulness is all right, Ever see a ray gun work?
Ray gun?
Yes. It works like this.
Granu like that. Let Granu play with ray gun.
It didn't phase him. Shoot again.
Granu wants to play.
It worked all right. Just took a little longer to numb their primitive nervous system. What a monster. Well, maybe he did finish for you, Cadet of Death. But just to make sure, what are you doing, Your Highness? I'm turning the heat control on the thermo suit to 0. Lying here in the sub-freezing temperature, they won't last 20 minutes. How about the sun? You revive in an hour. Oh, what do I care what happens to this woolly barbarian? Whether he lives or not, he can't harm us. Can he? I suppose not, Your Highness. Then let's get going. I have some new orders. Now, if you turn on the spaceophone and contact my ship. Your Highness. Something's wrong, huh? Look, the spaceophone panel is smashed. Smashed? What? It is smashed. How did that happen? During my scuffle with the cadet, I must have pushed him into it after I shoved the gas in his face. All the miserable luck. We don't contact those ships. They'll carry out the rescue after all. Perhaps we can intercept them. I got it. We'll let them pick up those slaves. We'll head for my castle and spaceophone other instructions. Those slaves will be sorry they didn't stay here in the Endurium mine. Let's blast off.
Less than a minute later, the reverberations of Baccarati's rockets die out in the frozen air, leaving only the sound of the Arctic wind to shriek across the polar ice cap of Cadet. Finally, in the dim light of the mine shaft, a figure moves and with difficulty sits upright. It is Buzz Corey. Shivering with cold, he looks around, first at Cadet Happy's still form, then at the shaggy hulk of Granu, the giant frog. Fingers clumsy with cold, he finally turns up the heat control of his thermo suit and does the same to Happy's. A moment later, Happy stirs, opens his eyes, and looks at the command.
Oh, sir. Hey, you're still alive.
For the time being, somebody turned our heat control to 0.
Oh, that's so. The mine's warming up now. Hey, where's that thing that grabbed me and slammed me against the side of the shaft? Uh-oh.
He's harmless now. A ray gun put him to sleep.
Oh, then you got him after all.
I didn't get him.
Well, then who did?
Baccarati.
Oh, wait a minute. Baccarati wasn't armed.
He is now. Our guns are gone. Now, let's take a look outside.
The ship?
Yeah. Although I've got a pretty good idea what to see. Or rather, won't see.
Yep. Gone. Well, this is just dandy. Stranded on this ice cap, 1,000,000 miles from nowhere. Hey, listen. Back in the shack.
It's the fog. He's coming too.
Hey, we better get away from here before he comes after us.
If he wants to get us, it isn't going to do us any good to run. Besides, I don't think he'll hurt us now.
Yeah, but look what he did to us before.
I know, but this man is an outcast, driven away by his own people. He knows he's stranded here. I think he'd prefer company, particularly since he knows the company he can lick.
Hey, and he knows these mines pretty well. Maybe he has some food stashed around.
Now, come on, Hap. Let's try to shoot him. You're Granu, aren't you? We're your friends, Granu.
You not have ray gun?
No, we have nothing that could hurt you. We don't want to hurt you.
Granu can hurt you.
We know that. We proved it. But you're not going to hurt us, Granu.
You not afraid of Granu? You not hate Granu?
No, we don't hate you.
You take Granu in big sky sled? Take him find food?
Sky sled?
He means a spaceship. People probably use sleds, like the Eskimos on Earth used centuries ago.
Sorry, Granu, but our space... the sky sled we came in is gone. Prince Baccarati took it. If Baccarati means anything to him.
Highness, bad man. Highness lied to Granu. Granu not work for Highness. You take Granu in sky sled, Granu work for you.
Well, you don't understand, Granu. There is no sky sled.
Wait, Happy. When Baccarati saw he couldn't overpower us, he escaped from the ship. Would he have done that if he was sure to be stranded here?
Oh, that's right. He could have surrendered, stayed in the ship, and waited for another chance.
Granu, is there a sky sled somewhere near the mine?
Yes. Come. Granu, take it.
Let's go, Hap. And I hope he knows the difference between a spaceship and an excavating machine.
Wow, look at the strides he takes. Hey, Granu, Hey, Granu, how much farther is it? I'm about to drop.
Not far. Sky sled, round corner.
Hope he knows what he's talking about.
So do I. Hey, I see a light ahead.
The shaft is widening.
There's something big in the opening.
There, sky sled.
It's a ship, all right.
Hey, hurry up, Granu. Get a move on.
I thought you were tired.
Not now.
Up the ladder, Hap.
It's only an atmosphere ship.
A few moments ago, you would have settled for a 20th century bicycle.
I know, but... Well, with a space job, we'd stand a chance of getting off this planet.
You worry about that when you've got Baccarati. Watch your head, Granu. The top of that hatch is pretty low for a man your size. Secure the hatch, Happy.
Hey, this isn't a bad little ship, sir.
Stand by to blast off.
Standing by, sir. Oh, where are we headed, sir?
To find Baccarati. We've got to give him something to worry about before he has time to bring misery to those people waiting in the valley.
There is the castle, Marengo. In a few minutes, I'll be in my tower, watching those worthless slaves go to their doom.
Your Highness.
Yes.
The identification signal.
Oh, what about it?
So the ship can get through the electronic force field around your castle.
Isn't it working? It should be automatic.
Must have been damaged when the space plane was wrecked.
We'll circle the castle until they recognize my ship and cut the fill. How about that? ground emplacements around the castle. They're firing at us.
The fools! Can they recognize my ship? The idiots!
We're hit. They got us.
We'll head back north for those hills.
Losing altitude, Your Highness.
If we can make it over the hills, we'll stay.
Perhaps they've tried to contact you by space support. We can't reply. We can't even receive. And we sent out no identification signal.
But don't they know my ship? And they did?
Perhaps they figured some imposter was aboard. It's just the sort of trick Corey might try to gain entrance to the castle.
But Corey's in the mine shaft, up on the polar ice cap.
But your men don't know that. Your Highness, we're going to crash.
Let go of me, you fool! How do I know till I stand up? Stop asking foolish questions and get me out of this mess.
Sure, Highness. Look, the small atmosphere ship. It has seen us. It's going to land.
Oh, don't stand there gibbering. Get that hatch open.
Yes, the illustrious one. In a few moments, you'll be back in your castle.
Yes. Come on. What are you waiting for? Where's the pilot of this ship? Is this any way to greet your ruler?
Welcome aboard, Baccarati.
Hurry!
No, don't reach for that gun, Baccarati. I'll do it. Thank you. I'm glad to see you weren't hurt in the crash. It'll make it easier for us to get through the force field and into the castle.
How did you find this ship?
We had a guide. Oh, and you'll be happy to learn that your men carried out your orders perfectly. We just heard a space phone report that the natives have all been returned safely to their homes.
And now we're going to have you arrange to let some space patrol ships in to pick up the technicians from the United Front.
I'm sure you'll cooperate, Baccarati, when you see your guard. He's crouching in the corridor waiting for him.
It's Todd. Run!
Close the hatch, Happy. Stand by to blast off.
Standing by, sir.
Standing by, sir.
It's the Granu.
An exciting preview of next week's Space Patrol adventure in just a moment. Easy as 1, 2, 3. Gang, that's how easy it is to enter the Name the Planet contest and get a free prize. 1. Go to your nearest Weatherbird shoe store. 2. The Weatherbird shoe man will give you your free prize, a swell-looking interplanetary coin album with 3 real space coins inside. Terrific coins, big as a $50, with designs of planets colored in starlight silver. So good-looking, you'll want to collect them and trade them with all your pals. And 3, right there in the coin album, you'll find your Name the Planet contest entry blank with easy directions for sending in your name for Planet X. Now, if there's no Weatherbird shoe dealer in your neighborhood, find where else to get your coin album and entry blank by looking on the back of a package of good hot Ralston, either instant or regular. But make sure it's a new package with a picture of Commander Corey or Cadet Happy on the front. So hurry, gang. Start now to win the Rocket Clubhouse or one of the 1,750 other big prizes. Get your free coin album and entry blank and enter the Space Patrol Name the Planet contest at your Weatherbird shoe dealers. And now, a preview of next week's exciting Space Patrol adventure. Buzz and Happy are in the control tower of Prince Baccarati's castle, ready to force the prince to permit a rescue squadron to reach Planet X. Suddenly, apparently from nowhere, Baccarati's assistant, Murdoch, produces a weapon.
Commander, Murdoch's got a gun.
Drop it, Murdoch. Murdoch, we've got blast cartridges in our hand. If you shoot us, we'll blow up the whole tower.
Better hold it, Murdoch.
Murdoch, have you lost your mind?
One more step.
Be sure to join us again next week for the thrilling story, Rescue from Planet X, when Wheat Checks, Rice Checks, and Good Hot Wilson again present Space Patrol! Space Patrol, created by Mike Moser, starring Ed Kemmer as Commander Corey and Len Osborne as Cadet Happy, was written by Lou Houston, produced and directed by Larry Robertson, executive producer Mike Jerri. Other players were Bela Kobach, Norman Jolly, and Ken Mayer. Dick Tufeld speaking. Now, don't forget to tune in next Saturday and every Saturday when Wheat Chex, Rice Chex, and Good Hot Loafton again present Space Patrol.
Dick Trufeld in Los Angeles reporting on a train that can fly 1,000 miles without refueling, the North American FJ-2 Fury. Now, in a moment, you'll hear from the well-known test pilot on this Navy jet fighter, J. Ray Donahue, Jr. The Fury is a carrier-based plane armed with 4 20-millimeter cannons. It flies 650 miles per hour, has an altitude mark of 45,000 feet. Its length, 37 feet. Now, J. Ray Donahue, Jr., recorded at Edwards Air Force Base.
To fly at supersonic speeds, the test pilot must have plenty of energy. That's why I always get a good night's sleep and start the day off with a good breakfast cereal like Rice Chex or Wheat Chex. They have plenty of energy, and they taste mighty fine. And I know that you'll like them, too.
No other cereal, puff or flake, contains so much nourishment in such concentrated bite-sized form. So take a tip from J. Ray Donahue, Jr., Bob Love, and other top test pilots. Make your cereals Rice Chex, Wheat Chex. Be sure to see another exciting Space Patrol program on your local ABC television station. Consult your local paper for time and channel. This program is broadcast to our armed forces overseas through the worldwide facilities of the Armed Forces Radio Service. Space Patrol came to you transcribed from Hollywood. This is ABC Radio Network.